treasure. They just might tune in to find out Monday nights. K-Pro Cow Powwow. K-Pro Cow Powwow wow. It's the K-Pro Cow Powwow.
All right, everybody, and we are live on a Thursday night, which is coffee with K-Pro Cal. But because we skipped Monday, today is actually the K-Pro Cal Powwow. That's why I played that song. For those of you paying attention, how you doing, K-Pro?
I'm having a hard time hearing you. And people are saying it's low. I don't like this setup. I'm going to move this around. It's probably going to make everything go kapooey. And I don't know. Hold on. I'm all discombobulated. And okay, that's better. Hi, everybody.
Or how's my audio?
Low to me, but yeah, Minotaur. If it wasn't Forrest, it's Michael. I have coffee. No, wait. What do I have? I have soda. Forrest always gave me a hard time about it. And so does Mike.
All right.
Can't hear Mike is what they
How is
say.
K-Pro? But how is K-Pro?
How can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? K Pro Cow Power. All right, can you guys hear me? Mike is low. Low. Mike too low. Mike. So Mike had to reconfigure, and when you reconfigure, you mess everything up. But
Change everything, everybody. Is that any better? Test one, two. Hey now.
K Pro very loud. Okay, I'll turn mine down. K Pro, it's too loud. You guys are killing me.
You guys hear me okay? One, two, three, four. K-Pro's audio's good, but what about mine?
Yeah, yeah.
So what you guys need to do is you need to make some coffee or get a drink or make some popcorn because we got some things to talk about tonight. I think tonight's going to be a long one.
Well,
Not
I did
better,
not get to
everybody.
organize my notes. I do have some pages of notes. Those of you that know me on Facebook and Thor,
One,
I've
two.
been I've been struggling a little bit on what to say and what not to say, and I've just decided I'm going to say a lot of it. I'm not going to say everything. And if some of you think that's teasing, it's not. I have the right to do that. And if you don't like it, go away. But I'm going to be a little ornery tonight because I do have to say I'm not only processing the end of this. I don't know. I just think that the Finder's article has kind of hit me both ways. I've gone different ways about it and digested it differently, and I think we have kind of a next step on what this next part of the ending. And I think it sucks. And so I'm going to tell you guys what I think of it. I will not, though, threaten the family, threaten any searcher. I will not curse at them. I will not try to make them afraid to talk. I won't do any of that. I will do it. And I just don't want to help that side of the cause. But if that happens, that happens. But I am going to tell it like it is.
One, two, three, four. Is that better, K-Pro?
You sound great, honey.
Does that sound better, everybody? I think I found the issue. Although I look whited out here. I know I'm white, but I'm not that white. It seems the color's off too. Everything's jacked up. But anyway, hey now, can everybody hear me all right?
You're white,
We
but
got
not
some
that
things to
white.
say. You guys got to be able to hear us tonight.
Yeah. You sound good to me. Does he sound good to you
I
guys?
should sound better, I hope. One, two, three, four.
Not better.
Fabio
Holy.
said Zeno. Maybe you.
No, low. No, not better. No, no.
Hmm. Well, maybe you just talk tonight, Kate.
Andy, I didn't want to say anything to anybody until I had worked through what I knew, what I was allowed to say, what I wasn't allowed to say. I did get some permission from people. All of that came very late. So, Andy, I saw and appreciated your. Oh, I don't know what all that is. Um,
That's me.
oh, no more cow.
Go ahead.
Okay, still quiet. Okay, so in general, it's not that I was keeping anything for anybody, and I know a lot of you guys have wanted to talk, but I'm going through this my own thing, and I'm gonna yeah. Um, First of all, I don't believe that there was a real finder. Two, if it was true, F was covering up a girl finding the chest because a female wrote that article. Minotaur, the first one, I 99.99999 disagree with you. And a week and a half ago, I would have completely agreed with you. But as factually as I can get it, and I'm going to go through why I think that for the most part, I will cite a couple of
Test, test,
sources.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Some of my sources I won't cite, and the sources that I won't cite is where I don't have permission. And all I'm going to say is the Phantom told me. And if you guys hear that, just know that I'm not privy to say it. You can believe it or not, or you can just put it lower on your confidence level. The only people that I
2, 3, 4,
am,
5.
wow, that's loud.
Okay, I think that's the problem. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The only people that I am going to be quoting is I have permission. But here's the other thing. I've had a couple of people that I really do appreciate when they give me information, and I've been asking for sources, and I lost a couple of my friends through this because they got offended, like I didn't believe them. It's not that I don't believe anyone right now. It is I want to go by direct sources. I will go over what has happened there as well. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you. I'm just the facts. So it's not there's no crying at baseball. I don't know how to say it.
Right. Did I fix mine? 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. How's it sound to you, Capro?
It sounds okay to me, but mine doesn't matter as much. Okay. Does he sound okay? Do it again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think people messing with the soundboard, I think, is the issue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
People.
7, 8, 9, 10. K-Pro's going to get pissed off tonight if she's not already, but maybe not. All right. I guess it's good since nobody's saying anything. I guess it's fine. Okay.
Let's bring up the article. So I will first say I believe this article came from the Finder. I'm not going to name all my sources, but it's definitely the case in my opinion. One of the main reasons now that I can say I believe the family believes this is the Finder, and I believe the lawyer for Forrest believes this is the Finder. And there's two reasons why I say this, and evidence you can see. If you go to Old Santa Fe Trading Company, there is, and why don't you bring that up? There is on the front page, there's a statement from the family, which I want to talk about. Don't let me forget, you guys. Mike's is too faint. K-Pro sounds great. You keep trying, Mike. Cannot hear Mike, so just keep trying. So here is the article I want to go through, but I believe this is the case because the family has said it is so. And here's the other thing. And somebody else brought this up to me. I'm not going to cite that person unless you want me to, but they are. Oh, there you go. That's good.
Okay.
Or at least to me. Say something again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Guys, if you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say yes.
It's something to do with Zoom, I think. Test, test, test.
So here's the thing. Here's the other part of it. Oh, I do want to talk about Douglas Preston as well. But so Forrest family has said that this is obviously the Finder because they say here's a lovely article and they link it from the Old Santa Fe Trading Company site. That's first. Second, someone else brought this up to me. The lawyer of Forrest has put in one of the responses to the Chicago lawsuit, and we'll have updates on lawsuits as well, that he is requesting for the judge to depose either Forrest, this was at the time when Forrest was alive, either Forrest or the Finder to be deposed independently from the Barbara Anderson, the lawyer, if the lawyer did not know that there was a Finder. I don't believe he could say that. I think there is an ethical boundary that he is not allowed to say anything in the court of law that he knows to be untrue. Someone else brought that up, and I think those are two sources that say there are a Finder. One of the Fenn daughters commented and has since been deleted on the Finder's article. I saw it with my own eyes. She said something like, "We appreciate you, nicely said." Okay. Yeah, and if anybody, so that's what came up as well. If you see those things, just screen capture them because somebody messaged me, and here's some breaking news that I will tell everybody. There's been a lot of question about how does Cynthia have sources? How do it's really Cynthia. So let me go through that because I asked Cynthia today. She didn't want to out me, but I am going to tell you. When Forrest passed away, and Smell the Sunshine did a great video where he showed where Cynthia kind of hit the brakes on her car and pulled over. I called her the moment I had heard. And actually, I had heard when I was sitting with Mike, and Czar is the one that messaged Mike and said, "Did you hear?" We pulled up the internet and it was everywhere. I called Cynthia and said, "Cynthia, pull over." And she said, "What?" You're muted. You're muted.
Okay. Is that way too loud? Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Hang on. Is that better? 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was only in one place. Czar texted me. He's the first person we heard it from. Czar, shout out to Czar. And it was only on the Santa Fe, New Mexican. That was the only outlet that had it online at that time.
Yeah, but it was in a public spot. I said to Cynthia, "Pull over." Cynthia said, "What happened?" And I said, "Are you pulled over?" She said, "No, I have smell the sunshine behind me. We're driving to, I don't know, wherever she was driving to." And I said, "You have to pull over." And she said, "It would be hard to. I can't." I said, "Then I'm not going to tell you." And she said, "Okay, this is serious." And I said, "Yes." She pulled over. I told her, we both cried. I said, "Look, everything's blowing up. We're going online. I have to go, or on live. We have to go." I got off. I know she messaged me later. She just sat there and cried to Matt. So that is how she found out so quickly. I don't know how Czar found out quickly. You can terrorize him for the answer. No, I kid. But it was already in a public domain
because they saw it on the Santa Fe, New Mexican. That's the
yeah. Like I don't know how he got alerted first. If he subscribed to something, I don't know. So then the second one, because a lot of people said Cynthia had new information. So Cynthia said to me before this, actually, I don't watch the blogs anymore. She's really an outdoor person. She said, "Christy, you do. Can you do me a favor? If there's any major news, not drama, not Billy Bob says he found it, because there's 27 Billy Bobs." She said,
Bob.
"Okay, Mikey Bear, whatever."
Racist. Go ahead.
What is wrong with you? Um, in that case, can you either text me or call me right away? We usually text each other to make sure we're available before we call. I only call when it's a true like major. And so I got it from Shadowcaster. Shadowcaster posted it on Thor and posted it on Facebook. I don't know how he found it on Medium. I didn't even know Medium. And he private messaged me. My first, within 1 minute, I yell out to Mike, who usually isn't as hardcore into the forest stuff because he's kind of over it. He's on to these other hunts. Cynthia and I are still really focused on the Fenn stuff. And I messaged her and said, "Did you see the Finders article?" She called me right away. She said, "No, we walked through it together." And I said, "Why the hell isn't this on Dale's site?" And she said, "I'm going to go. I'll let you find out." But we were both of the mindset there wasn't really a finder. And so we both looked at those pictures and said, it has to be now. Um, so she got off the phone with me and she later told me this, and she's told me it's okay that I tell all of you guys. No one should buy the chest until it's proven it's actually hid and proven to be found. How do you prove it's hid? I don't know how you prove it's hid, but anyway, it's hard to prove a negative. But anyway, she called Dale. Dale had not seen it. Dale and her brought it up together and they walked through it and they had commentary throughout. She did not share the commentary, but she said he had not seen it. And she said, "Bring it up." And they walked through it together. So that is how she knew so quickly. Dale got the information. Many people are saying huge conspiracy that Cynthia knows days, but no, it is truly Czar Shadowcaster. This is the cool part about having such a great network of searchers. I'm amazed internationally what people hear, domestically. People are friends of friends, etc. That is how it happened. You can believe it or not believe it. That is the facts, ma'am. Here is the thing that I will say I find suspicious. Nothing more than just I asked Dale when he went on Amy's show. Dale did not put a link to the Medium. He put all of the original text and all of the original pictures. And I said, "You can't do that. That's against copyright. Do you have permission to do that?" And his answer was something like, "Nah, I just kind of put it up there. We'll see what happens."
And then he got sued, right?
No, he
No, he didn't
hasn't.
get sued.
So there might be something to Dale. I don't know Dale to violate he's a photographer, so I know he doesn't typically violate like I ask for permission, like for the open chest, all the picture of the open chest and things that I've used before. I've always known him to be thoughtful like that. I don't know if he just thinks, to hell, this thing is so crazy, I'm going to put it up. If the finder wants to contact me and tell me I'm violating copyright, then I will. But I find it outside of normal behavior for Dale to put up an article that wasn't sourced to him directly. So agree. I hope things take a turn.
So
But at this moment, there's zero evidence the chest was ever hidden. There's been zero evidence since day
yeah,
one. The
there's
chest
never
was
going to be evidence he hit it. It's
Right.
fate. You believe Forrest when he says he did what he did, or you don't. There's never going to be any evidence. I'll
Right.
just say I made another video that one fateful night about the searcher. No comment on that.
Oh, I'm going to talk about him.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm going to talk about him. I'm saying I gave my thoughts back then. I will say is that, in that article, which I'll show and we'll go over the article, it says the person is going to sell it. Correct. They do. It
I
is.
thought it said
Oh,
something like he's going to try to fulfill Forrest's wish, but then if not, sell it.
right.
And I
So
want to talk about that.
it may be sold at some point, but somebody, and I don't remember who it is, somebody said, will somebody buy it without the solution? Will somebody buy it without knowing the answer to the poem, the 9 clues? And their point of view was, no, if I buy it, I'm buying the story along with the treasure chest. I wonder if the finders thought of that. Now, there are a lot of people, we know some of them, that really want the treasure chest and the contents,
Right.
and they're willing to spend a lot of money for it. But would you buy that chest and contents without the story? What if the finder puts it up and is still anonymous? Is still, and you never even get to talk to the finder. You don't know the solution. You don't get to know the location. That's an interesting point. If I'm going to spend millions of dollars for something, I might want the backstory behind it. Meaning, where was it? Where'd you find it? And what was the
You
answer?
might want it, but you're not going to like. I could say I want a picture of you locating it to authenticate it, and it's an as-is sale. Here's the stuff. You're not getting the story, and people do that all the time. So it's nice. Yeah, like what Minotaur's saying, it might legitimize it more, but there are buyers out there that are going to buy the artifacts and the artifacts alone, in my opinion. Okay, so I have a lot to say about the finder. So let's see. I will do a shout out to Why I Must Go. I tried to put a comment on your video. I got kind of attacked for it, which I understand that people are raw right now. So Why I Must Go did a video a couple days ago,
right. Shout out to
just
Troy.
kind of going through some of the same thoughts I have. I have some different thoughts, but I have the same thoughts. Troy and I have not always agreed. So when I saw that, I did go private and have a discuss or a back and forth with him on some things. But I just wanted to say I did like the video. I tried to thank you on the video and agree with you, and of course got pounced on. So
We all want a gold coin, JK Pioneer. And then what if he was to put one of the Forrest Fenn coins from the treasure chest on eBay? How high would that go, I wonder?
Well, that breaks the overarching. That'll be another thing, is like, do you sell as a whole or not?
Individually, yeah. But anyway, okay, go ahead.
I do think that there are some people, some friends of Forrest, that are talking right now. And some people have let me know who, I've heard from this or that person, etc. The details of Forrest when he passed, how he passed, etc., was out almost instantly. It's just how it goes. I just think that's how it goes. So
And let me break in with this breaking news. Breaking news, everybody. And that is, if you like the video, make sure you hit a thumbs up and the super chat's on. If you just have a question,
I might just
answer. I'll make K-Pro answer anything that you guys super chat. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thumbs up the video and subscribe. Because K-Pro's going to get into some things that aren't pretty, I think. Anyway, I don't know if she is or not. We'll see. There's emails going back and forth. There's secret meetings. There's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, and there's some things, and I want to make a clarification. Nomadic Madman just said, I'm a friend of Forrest. It's kind of like a rapper that gets really, really rich and they never know who their friends are. I consider myself a friend of Forrest, but I'm a search friend because I met him after the search started. So I don't think he could ever have known, and he was betrayed by a lot of people. So when I talk about friends or family, obviously family's different, but friends, there are people people that knew him before any of this happened. And I just put them in a different category, not necessarily like Cynthia. I think she's close with him, but she still is a search friend, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. That doesn't mean there wasn't um, any less closeness or any of that, but I think he had, kind of like Toby said, I think he had his guard up after a couple of years. So yes, thank you all for joining. We're at almost 200 people. Let's walk through the finder's letter, because I've had some time. I wanted to give him benefit of the doubt, and then I really, because I had my own stuff going. A lot of you asked why I was traveling back east. That was not to see the finder, I can assure you. And so yeah, there you have it. So let's walk through this article. Can you take that sign in button? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm not going to go through every word. I'm going to go through the points that I think are important. So I am the person that found the Forrest Fenn treasure. The moment it happened was not triumphant as I envisioned. It felt like I had survived something. I need to bring this closer. Unfortunately, my eyes are not.
My first question is, and you'll get to it, K-Pro, but right here in the very first long paragraph is, knowing where the treasure was, but being unable to find it. What does that mean? How do you know where it is, but you're unable to find it?
Well, this is my first
How
issue.
many clues did he know he had solved? And how did he know he had the correct solution, but then he just couldn't find the blaze? I would just like an explanation for that, Mr. Finder, if that's your real name, which it isn't, and if you're watching. Go ahead, Kipper.
Well, for me, I'm going to really go into what Forrest anticipated, how to find it, and who would find it, and then what we see throughout this article. So he actually says it a couple times, but Forrest said you need to go with confidence. And he has said you don't go unless you have an exact spot. You have these general areas, that ain't going to work. I think we're going to show here that's exactly what works. So Forrest was not correct in what I call brute force it. You can brute force it at the very end. So for so long, I thought it'd be haunted for the rest of my days of being unable to find it. I think a lot of people thought that. So he did not go out. Remember the famous quote of "Go out with confidence." Um, I don't think he did, and I think he found it anyway. When I finally found it, the primary emotion was not joy, but rather a profound feeling of relief. Um, well, relief because you didn't think you were going to find it, and I think that tells a lot.
And that's what I want an explanation for. What does that mean that he couldn't find it? Did he solve 8 clues but couldn't? I mean, if each of these clues were geographic landmarks that what we believed, and one leads to the other, where did he go wrong and why? Yeah, I would like to understand, but to know that, we've got to know the solution, and I don't know if that's going to happen. But
Well, many people think that the beginning of this next paragraph, I figured out the location where he wished to die and thus where the treasure was back in 2018. But it took me many months to figure out the exact spot. So many are taking it, and I don't know if I am. I don't know if I am. That this means he didn't use the poem. This means that he just figured out through a bunch of slips.
The way I read it is he figured out the spot outside of the poem, if that's even possible. And you know what I don't like? He doesn't mention anything about the poem except the blaze in this entire article. He never once mentions War Warm Waters, Walter Halt, or Home of Brown, unless I'm wrong. But as we go through it, I don't know. Yeah. But I took it that he figured out where Forrest wanted to die. It took many months to figure out the exact spot. Yeah, he's got to explain that.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have to explain anything. This treasure was the most frustrating experience of my life. There were a few times exhausted, covering scratches and bites, pine pinches, etc. That he was frustrated. I think that shows he didn't have the 9 clues solved. He brute forced it because he spent 25 full days of failure at the location. I think that means at the general location before getting it, meaning I didn't figure it out. I just kind of brute forced it for 25 full days in that area.
That's a lot of entrance fees to Yellowstone National Park, isn't it?
I'm not commenting that yet. And I will comment about the comment to the female because I think it might be a female, and I have a reason why I think that, but not what any of you guys think. Okay, when I got back to my rental car, so obviously he's case, he had a rental car. I put my hands on the steering wheel and bawled my eyes out. I remember Forrest said the person who found it would either laugh or cry. I don't remember him saying that piece, but okay, he was
Even
overwhelmed with. I would have probably done all those things: laughed, cried, peed my pants, screamed, all of those things. So I'm good with that. I realized he had been right and started to get annoyed that I still couldn't stop his quotes from popping into my head after the chase was finally done. I don't quite understand why he's annoyed, but okay. Um, I laughed at myself getting annoyed. Then I realized I was fulfilled with the premonition of laughing out loud. In the weeks after, I still couldn't stop myself from reflexively thinking about what he was thinking. After living inside of his head for 2 years, meeting him in person was sensory overload. So now we know he did. Some people were questioning whether he actually found or met Forrest. He met Forrest, or he confirms it. Again, you might be questioning this.
And I will just break in to say a lot of people are questioning, how do we even know this person's the finder? How do we even know? Well, this picture is why, right? The pictures are what give this
Right.
article legitimacy.
And the
It's,
family
and the family,
and
exactly.
the
Anybody who
lawyer.
reads this, I think, would be able to say, oh, yeah, that must be from the person. Because look, they have a picture of the chest. That's the exact same ground, same material on the ground as the actual picture that was shown by Forrest on Dale's blog. So, unless you, of course, question the legitimacy of the pictures, I guess you could do that if you wanted to.
And you question his lawyer and you question the family. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I could ask him.
We'll talk about the family part after this, right? Meaning why they believe it or don't believe it or whatever, right?
If there's questions about that, yeah, I think it's pretty
Well,
straightforward. Like I said, Mike, listen, I said, Mike, the
yeah.
family put it on Old Santa Fe Trading Company. That puts that baby to bed, right?
Well, I think any article that had photos of the treasure chest, they would put on the old Santa Fe. In other words, I don't think that proves they know the finder or know anything about the finder. It's just there was an article that was posted that has actual pictures of the treasure chest.
There are 30 people that say they have oh, you're saying because of the
The
pictures.
pictures are the only reason. In
That
my
might be
opinion, any article that came out that actually had pictures after Forrest passed away, the family would be like, well, yeah, that person has these pictures. They must be the finder. That's all. Just a lot of people are saying they don't even believe the person who wrote this is the finder. Well, then how did they get the pictures? And for those of you that say, well, they could have been in the lawyer's office, this picture is not from the lawyer's office. This picture is from the area it was found. And it sure does match that stuff, diatrist, however you say the word, that stuff that was on the ground. So that's all. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, go down a little bit. So I could ask him questions about the chase and he would actually answer them. But I'll talk about that. I'll put the caveat. I never got used to it and I was still analyzing him unnecessarily when he died, unable to turn off my obsession. I'm not sure if you had an obsession because later you say Forrest really wanted you to visit and you weren't able to, which we're going to talk about in a second. Now that he's gone, I'm no longer annoyed on those quotes rattling around my brain. They'll be around in his life. Okay, go up.
Go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, down. Okay, gotcha. Now that he's gone, I got you. It would be. I spent a couple more days crying after Forrest passed. Well, didn't we all? Go ahead.
I had so much more than I wanted to ask him, the kind of thing that was better done face to face. For weeks, he'd wanted me to fly back to Santa Fe and spend more time. He even tried to convince me to move there, but circumstances out of our control made it more practical for me to come later. So there's a couple of things here. One, I have this regret with my mom. My mom passed unexpectedly, and I did not get the time because I didn't know it was the very end. But he's going on 90. So I was a little surprised that there was so much regret when he was asking you to come. Um, but circumstances out of our control made it more practical for me to come later. So he didn't say circumstances out of my control, circumstances out of Forrest's control, circumstances out of our control. I believe he's referencing the lawsuits at this time. Except for, here's the caveat to that. Forrest was pretty much fully on lockdown in talking to the public at all during the lawsuits. The lawsuits are still going. Not only is the family, but the finder is now coming out publicly. So initially, I thought circumstances out of our control was the lawsuits. Is there something else outside of our control? Many people think a proxy item, a transfer of title, something like that. And I'm sorry, I'm not focusing on the chat right now because I want to focus on my thoughts. So, what are the circumstances out of our control? If you go with the logic, Forrest said there were circumstances, and he told me flat out they were the lawsuits. We needed those to get settled. Now, there might have been other things, but that's what he told me. Both the family now and the finder are not going with that same train of thought. Why? Do they believe now that Forrest is passed, they can actually talk? Do they believe it's okay? Did they disagree with Forrest? Forrest was wanting to talk with the finder, but he wasn't wanting to talk publicly, except for very minimal things. Like he did put out Wyoming. He was responding in the court documents, but he was not putting out information. The finder and the family now both have. What changed other than Forrest passing? Did something else change? Because I think they would want to be as conservative as Forrest was. What do you think before I give you my thoughts, Michael?
All right. Summarize the question one more time. I was actually doing some other stuff on our.
So why would Forrest?
Yeah.
In my opinion, Forrest was waiting for the lawsuits to settle before he weighed in on articles such as these or commenting about the finder. Both the family and the finder are coming out with information. Why would they do something different than Forrest was doing?
I think the finder I think the finder and Forrest had a plan to do things at a later date. But when Forrest passed away, it changed that. So
Okay.
when he says Forrest had a plan for the chest, and I'm going to try and make that happen. I mean, obviously he knows what the plan is from Forrest. And if it would have happened at that time, I'm not saying the finder would have came out and said who he was, but I think Forrest would have been involved in making that happen, whether it's, whatever that means. I don't know what the end result is, so I can't say. But I think they had plans to do things, just like when Forrest said we have decided to put out the state when he put out Wyoming. I think they decided to do some things at a later date. But when Forrest passed away, everything changed, and the finder decided to put out this quotation fingers remembrance of Forrest, and so everything changed because of that. Now the family, I'm not sure what you mean by the family's putting out things.
Why is the family putting that? So in my opinion, and I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. So the latest lawsuit motion that just keeps evolving and evolving, I think it's like throwing spaghetti onto the wall. But the latest one says, since the heirs know who the finder is, I want to depose or subpoena all of the heirs and family of Forrest. I'm summarizing. I believe putting that article on Old Santa Fe Trading Company and saying this is the finder, I believe that may lend to that argument. Not that it'll get past anything, it might still get thrown out, but why would you do that if you were the family?
I believe they did it to make sure people know the chest has been found and they're out of it. In other words, they don't have the chest, the finder has the chest. Whatever was going on, it passed away with Forrest. The finder has come out and said what he's going to do. And I think that's the family's way of saying, leave us alone. I understand there's a lawsuit. I understand there might be, whoever is going to sue is going to sue. But I think that's their way of saying, we don't have the treasure chest. Here's an article from the finder. He has it. He's going to decide what to do with it. That's why I think they did that.
Okay.
For the sane, rational people, I think we would look at that and go, wow, so the family doesn't have it. This person has it. The unknown finder has it. And he says more is to come later. He's going to try and do something with it. He may sell it. It's a way for the family to say, leave us alone, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Douglas Preston at the end. I have a list of things I want to go through because Douglas isn't involved yet, except for the writing style analysis and some things I want to discuss as well. Okay, bring the article back up.
And you can lower your camera a little tiny bit, K-Pro. See how we're off?
Yeah.
There you go. That's good. Okay. So circumstances out of our control made it more practical
Right.
for me to come later. Well, it took too long, and what happened. Okay.
Well, and not only that, I want to say when you're dealing with somebody with not 90, don't wait. I mean, it's just it's a hard lesson.
I
I'm going
agree.
to take you at face value. You spent days crying after he passed. Well, he was begging you to come when I actually said to Cynthia at the bridge when we had the box from 3D Bronze, I said, "Why don't we wait until his 91st birthday and give it to him?" And she goes, "Because he's 90. We're giving it to him next week." And
Right.
we actually were coordinating that. And yeah, I'm going to get to the millennials thing. Yeah. So
Somebody would have to give me a pretty good circumstances out of our control, made it more practical, unless it was COVID. The only thing I can think is if it was COVID and it was like, yeah, but if Forrest is begging him to come out, Forrest would have worked a way around COVID, in my opinion. So
Forrest
yeah,
met with me and he did have a mask on, but he met with me during COVID. I know he met with other searchers. You guys know he met with
and
Cynthia, and I didn't have $1 million treasure chest with me.
I'll just say it point blank. Did Forrest plan on meeting with anybody else before he passed away? After, actually, did he have plans to meet with anybody that you know of? And
Yes.
but then he passed away. So yeah, he was going to meet with certain people. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the article.
I don't think he wanted publicly out there that he was meeting with people because he wanted to really be selective about who he was meeting and talking to.
Mhm.
I never met Forrest until this June. It was destined our only time together. It was destined to be our only time together in person. Unfortunately, yes, but that wasn't because of Forrest, which I'm going to get to. Like, this is Forrest just gave up 10 years of his life and he wasn't able to even get the finder's time, which, oh, the irony. I'm thankful for the time we had. I met Forrest. I told him I wasn't sure if I'd ever meet him. The treasure was just too hard to find. He told me with a big smile. He always said it was too difficult, but not impossible. I had proved him right. Yeah, not the way he thought it was going to, but yes. I'm not going to go into a lot of this because this is more about him in the past. So keep going down, up, whichever way you think that down, down. Okay. Hold on. Stop. Okay. Yes. Okay. Keep going down. Okay. Stop. Go back up. So he said the first few years before I'd heard about Forrest Fenn, his own confidence had been destroyed. This is what aided him in finding, without any self confidence in his abilities. I had to stick with the evidence and not stray into hunches and speculation. So, and into their close cousin, confirmation bias. Okay, knowing the exact spot on the globe where the person would like to die is a weird intimacy to share with a stranger. So again, he's not talking about the poem or the clues. Now, Forrest did say the poem and the clues. Yeah, nomadic. I found out from someone that they're able to highlight that as a registered user. I tried to do it and I wasn't able to. Why is that one area highlighted blue? I don't know the answer to that, but I noted it. Just confidence was intoxicating me, perhaps. Hold on. There's a part of this. Um,
Oh,
okay.
and I'll just say when he says this finder says knowing the exact spot on the globe where a person would like to die is a weird intimacy. Did he know before he found the treasure chest, or is he saying because he found the treasure chest that he knows because he found the treasure chest? Yeah, it really comes down to when he says, "I figured out where Forrest wanted to die." It's like how, and then he says there's slip ups in interviews. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Think.
So few humans, for the most part, age is a slow and dimming light. I think some of you know, I had a discussion about Forrest and how he was struggling with. I think his mind was starting to go a little bit, but he was still very sharp. Some people shared what I had said in private, but he knew it. He knew what was happening, and I think he was even more aware. It was actually during the one event that we had that we had to prepare for a few things because he was having some health issues, pretty significant ones. That's where Mike and I met. So I didn't even share some of that with Mike. That was a very, very close hold. He didn't want people to know that he was really starting. I won't say to completely fail, but he was starting to really have some issues.
And how long ago was this before he died?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, even then he had some issues, medical issues. Oh,
Yeah, and I talked to a few of the searchers that were really, really close to him, and one in particular, and it was Cynthia. She did not know. He told me the full situation with some of his health issues. So she was not aware. I was really surprised she wasn't aware. And we planned around it, and everything was fine. There was no issues during the event. But I know things were starting to happen then. But you expect that. He was 88 at the time. You expect that. Okay, for a decade, he wrote the memoir and share the stories of his life. Hold on, I want to get back to the finder.
Yeah,
Okay,
Forrest
for the
definitely
man
did
who,
not Alzheimer's. I'll say, yeah. Go ahead. He was still
yeah,
sharp
and
in the back, right?
yeah, there was times that he might not have remembered telling me something over someone else. Gosh, I forget that. Yeah, he just, I think that's why he wanted to stay so active with people. Yeah, so he did have some guarded details. So I agree with all of this. It's interesting. He said in a decade, he never made more than a couple subtle slip ups in front of all the dogging reporters who came to his house, even though apparently they haven't caught by anyone besides me. Well, you know the answer, so we don't know for sure. We all have that, but we don't know for sure. He never paid to advertise his hunt, yet seemingly every media outlet wanted a piece of him, and still managed to keep his secret. Um, So this is interesting. In the summer of 2018, the only time he talked to Forrest on the phone before finding the treasure, I called him to tell him in desperation I had found a blaze, a mark that the poem says points to the treasure. So he didn't email, he just called. Now, well, that seemed after some efforts by me to have been faked by a cruel fellow searcher. I know a lot of searchers that did that, even thought it had evidently been there for years. I couldn't believe the chances. I told him exactly where I had been searching, but the call only lasted 20 seconds and he gave no impression of discovering anything interesting.
He
It's just
wouldn't give it.
interesting to me that he called before he did anything else. The fake
Right.
blaze was less than 1,000 feet. So in my opinion, he solved it to 1,000 feet and then he brute forced the rest of it. Meaning he just probably circled out and circled out and circled out. Um, yeah, that was
And then he says, that's not even half the story. Well, where's the rest of the story? That's what I want to know. I want to know, other than I want, which I'm not going to get, I want the story. When's the story going to come out? But
Yeah.
we just have to
And I
wait and
think
see.
he's doing this to see if any other lawsuits maybe come up. This is kind of a throw it out, see what happens. I'm not sure though. When I met Forrest, he had forgotten about the phone call and found it amusing. I told him, of course, I had no idea how much I had tortured myself reading through this actions as I recall. Now, are these just random coins or are these coins that were specifically called out to be in the treasure?
Just looking at the condition to me, and this looks like it might be, this looks like the coins, in my opinion, that were in the treasure chest, but we don't know that for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, we don't know what this is up against. This is a screw and look at like a white plastic looking thing.
right.
This is some kind of a container. Could that be gold dust? Could that be? But to me, with looking at the condition, the dirt and such, it looks like the actual coins. And
Yeah,
that's why I said I want the gold because yeah, it's gold. Some of you know the
yeah.
reference.
Okay, I don't. Okay, keep going down.
Oh,
Um, Okay, Forrest used his chance not for personal profit, but to support a local independent bookstore, cancer victims. The Cody, he talks about Cody on the board. He had disagreements with academics. So okay, let's just stop there. So he had all this. He wanted to talk to you, and you didn't give him time. I'm so perplexed by that. So, despite his years of disagreements with academics over the subject of archaeology, he supported and served on the boards. Um, of a particular person who actually did not pass away on the same day, but close enough to it. So I think that's here nor there. So he's giving praise. Of course, Forrest gave it greatest gift was this treasure. I don't necessarily agree. I think for this finder, that might be the case. I think if you ask his family what is the greatest gift, it wouldn't be doing the treasure hunt. I think other people saw him for other things. Can you go back up? Right there. It could only be given to one person at its higher scope hope for many people. um okay, now go down. Sorry, I needed to read through it. I didn't get all my notes into one place. Lots of false certainty. Yes, that is why, in my opinion, now that the finder has come out kind of halfway, I think the finder does need to come out with more. I don't get a vote. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to. But I think doing this has actually done a disservice to Forrest, because it has given us enough to know that there might be a potential finder, and there's more conspiracy theories than ever. In others, it turned into entitlement. I do agree with you. People second, third, and fourth place. I gave up my family and my home, and now it's your fault. They are bitter, but I think here's the hard part that I have, and this is what Forrest always said to me. I said, you do realize 93% of us are good and we're frustrated. And he goes, I know. And I never realized that before. So I don't know if the finder just doesn't realize it, that there is, I think, a commitment that he has made by doing what he's done now and coming out at one level or another. Um, let's see.
I like how he says, even at my most raw points of gnawing frustration, even I resented Forrest. So maybe he's saying he can understand it a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. The
Yeah.
false certainty is just crazy. Some people are still convinced they're right when they're not even in Wyoming. It's just, yeah.
Right. Well, there's a great thread. I think, I don't know where it is, I think it's on the hate site. Do you think your solve is better than Forrest? And it's like,
That's
good
actually
God,
funny. The
good
problem
God.
is we don't know the solve, and that's the problem.
Right.
Finder, that's the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Mrs.
Go down.
And somebody in the chat just pointed out, but in our interview, K-Pro or Forrest said, I want him, he used the word him. This was our interview last November, but Forrest didn't know if it was a man or a woman. He's just using a term. So I don't think before it was found, if he ever said him, I don't think you can take that for anything.
Right.
Other than him just using it, meaning whoever the finder is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so in his final act of selflessness, he went to great lengths, made sure that he was anonymous. Over the past decade, he and his family has suffered a lot. I told him I don't want to be looking over the shoulder for the rest of my life. I'm not sure a way around that at this point, since you've come out halfway, and I think some other people know. Two can keep a secret. He says one of them is passed. I think more than two people know, in my opinion. Forrest went out of his way to protect me, I think, as much as he could. That's true. A person he had never met, even though in some ways it would have determined or would have given legitimacy. That's right. And I think that's what should be reciprocated, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
My family and I will be eternally grateful. So he has a family, whether that's children or just extended family. He doesn't say. Um, it was generous to leave a chest full of gold in the wilderness for someone to find. It's a whole nother thing to basically get his entire legacy questioned for a stranger. And that is true. And so that is where things become even more dicey, because, again, halfway coming out, and I think it's because they're getting ready to sell it. Okay, keep going down.
Yeah, Chasing Indy says, yes, you can, as far as the him comment. Fenn has known the chest would be found since February 3rd, 2018, with his gut feeling comment. That person was the finder. You don't know that, Chasing Indy. How do you know that? Since we don't know who this finder is, you don't know if that was the same person. I mean, you can't make that.
Well, and he told me the gut feel was nothing. So we can it's all conjecture.
Everybody, yeah.
That's one that might be, but it's all conjecture at this point.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I can't make that leap. I don't have any evidence to make that leap. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on.
Okay. So, and then everybody, this highlight here, this says top highlight. I'm assuming that means the most people that anybody can highlight this. I think I can highlight it. You know what I mean? And then you have to create an account. So top highlight means is the most people highlighted this, and it stays that way, which
That's
is
what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a clue. It's not a hint. It's just people were pointing out how generous it was of Forrest to do what he did. And then also to protect that person. Yeah, selflessness is the only way to.
Right, and Nick's right. We don't know anything. This is a lot of my own beliefs based on some information that I am going to share between what I heard from Cynthia. Like, lots of people were like, how did Cynthia know? I've set the record straight with what I can tell you, and you can actually look back at some of the posts to know that it was Shadowcaster, etc. But is that 100%? Maybe in your mind it is. Maybe it's not. It's exactly. This is just all of its conjecture at this point, because we don't know the particular person. But I do think some people do. So, okay.
He visits Forrest's house in June. This is where these pictures. Now he says he went to his house. Notice that this
Right.
is not in his house. Has that been verified that this is an office somewhere?
That is not in his house.
So he showed up here to show him the chest contents, but he also went to Forrest's house. Do you think he
Correct.
had the chest when he went to Forrest's house?
That's a great question, and it would be a total guess for me to say. I don't know is the answer to that, but I do find it interesting. So that means, for whatever reason, I think it seems like this is the first time that he has seen the treasure chest, but he also spent some time at his home. So that is, yes.
In my small opinion, I think this guy should have shown a picture of the book on his coffee table. He says it looks gorgeous on my coffee table. He should have shown a picture of the book. That's just my opinion.
I don't know.
I want the
And if
goat.
he did, that wouldn't have made me any happier. So I don't care about that. But that's just me. Okay, he gave me a copy, and I do have to say that was the first book that Forrest gave me. That was one of his favorite books. So let's see. Okay, in the craziness of the past few months, I neglected to read it, but I picked it up after Forrest had passed, and I'm glad I did. It's a loving tribute. Okay, and the dust cover.
Sorry.
Can you
keep
scroll
going?
down?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just looking this up. Hang on. So I think it's important.
I want to know where to go. I want to go.
I want the gold. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. So YouTube.
Oh, I'm glad you were doing something really important. Okay, go down.
Oh, the finder said, I want the gold. No, this is the Eric Sloan book. Their friendship lasted only 3 months. I didn't know that. Him and Eric Sloan only knew each other for 3 months. Oh, no, he's talking about himself. See, he
Right.
does this juxtaposition where he takes a quote about Forrest and Eric Sloan and then he inserts himself, right? It's kind of weird, in my opinion. I don't know. It's confusing.
Well, let me be clear. Alan K. Shadowcaster is the one that posted that this was out there before anybody else had it. He is not the author. I wasn't saying that. He is the one. Many people are like, how did Cynthia know before it was public? How did I know it was before? No, Shadowcaster is the one that kind of broke the story to the community. So.
And then I heard Shadowcaster said,
I want to go.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. It's a little
Can you
levity.
bring the article back up?
Yeah, okay.
I know. I'm being a little more serious than you
I
today.
know.
Okay, even your silly soundboard. Okay, so now let's get into, he said he had a friendship for 3 months. I don't know if it was a friendship. It was maybe an admiration, for a mutual admiration. I don't know if I would call it a friendship. Forrest had that ability. Where is Shadow? Yeah, Holly, we can talk. Alas, I'm a millennial. I have.
Sorry, we did get a super chat from Pilgrim Creek Joe. Thank you for that super chat. He says, all is not as it seems. We've heard that before. A little book called Vegas Die. All is not as it seems. So we don't know what that means, but okay. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So go ahead, Gabriel. Sorry for interrupting.
Well, Looking Glass, Shadowcaster, and Cynthia have both been on different live shows. They are not the same person. As far, I've only met one of them in person, but I've met both of them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying tonight.
Is Shadow dating Meeps? No, he is not.
No.
Confirmed. No, he's not.
No, we know who's dating Meeps, and he's lovely.
Sorry,
Okay.
Go ahead. You're not dating.
Okay. So let's remember who Forrest wanted. He said, I hope it's a redneck with 12 kids with a pickup truck that finds this. So this next sentence is interesting. I'm a millennial and have student loans to pay off, so it wouldn't be prudent for me to continue to own the Fenn Treasure. Now, let me tell you a little bit of something. If you went and got your bachelor's degree from a decent university, that's maybe $100 grand. $100 grand you can get for the story of finding the treasure chest and then keep the treasure chest. So in my opinion, this is my conjecture. This is my opinion. I believe we're talking someone that has at least a graduate degree and probably a terminal degree, PhD type.
Oh, Forrest's favorite type of person. Great.
Exactly. Ones that need crutches. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And then there is actually some audio from the finder when he said he was a millennial. Check it out. It's crazy how we got that.
That's the way I grew up, and that's the way I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's it. It's the way he grew up. That's the way he's going to be. Okay. Enough of the soundboard, K-Pro. All right, here we go.
Okay. Okay. At the end of the day, of all of our similarities, Forrest and I couldn't be less alike when it comes to collecting. Okay, so he's a non-collector. He's basically saying it could have been $1 million of $1 or $100 bills or 2 million, whatever it is. I don't care about the stuff in there. Oh, that had to have, if he said that to Forrest, that had to have crushed Forrest. He put all these cool things in there, and basically he's saying, I'm not a collector and I need the money. Give me the cash. That's basically what he said, right?
Yeah, and that's totally the opposite of what I think Forrest kind of wanted. Now he said anybody could find it. You know, there's some people that said, "K Pro, you don't have a right to find it because you have a PhD, you have money, you're not a redneck with 12 kids."
I'm a gold digger. Everybody says it. That's why I'm with you, Mike.
But yeah, no, Forrest put it out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And the person that found it was a millennial, and that's just what we got to deal with. But Marie has a good point, and we talked about this a little bit. If the family doesn't know who the finder is, then you have to ask, why would they put the article right under the Fenn family statement on Old Santa Fe?
That's my point.
Right. So you think, K Pro, that because they did that, you think they know who the finder is, possibly, or you think they're giving legitimacy to the finder?
I think they're giving legitimacy that there is a finder, and that is the finder. That person that wrote the article is the finder. Now, is it a man from back east? I don't know. I believe that the family, by just putting that out, and somebody said they saw their Facebook as well. Yeah, some people love the soundboard, and some people hate it. But in general, that right there is enough for the family to have a tie to say that is the finder. Now, it could be they opened it and saw the pictures alone and said, yeah, or it could be more. I think the Phantom knows, and I think the Phantom thinks that the family thinks this is the finder.
Well, I'll say this, you know, Minotaur, I think it was Minotaur Moreno who pointed out that if Forrest had it retrieved, that person would have had those pictures and that person could have made the article. And that's true. We have no proof that the person who found it on their own or found it with Forrest's help or was sent to retrieve it by Forrest. Go ahead.
Except for Forrest's attorney filed that motion that said, I will put in front of you either Forrest or the finder, not one or the other. He can't do that if he knows there's a conspiracy.
Wait, what motion? What are we talking about?
The motion, and I said this earlier, you were probably dorking around with that damn soundboard.
Sharing all the link everywhere. Go ahead.
Okay. So in the Chicago lawsuit, when the subpoena was granted that Forrest had to share this information so then they could
had to respond. That
when
one?
he responded, and we did a show on this that went over. He responded to the judge and said, Judge, I will put Forrest or the finder in front of you to go over what the actual solve is, either one. And then you get in front of Barbara and have her go over her solve, and you determine if they are the same, and you will see they won't be, and this should be thrown out.
See, I don't remember that, but okay. So the actual lawyer said Forrest or the finder. Again, all that proves but the finder is the person who found the treasure chest. Forrest could have sent somebody to retrieve it. Forrest could have called you, K Pro, and said, go get it. I want this over with. And now you are the finder and you wrote that article. You know what I mean? And you could have went to court and said, yes, I'm the finder. It doesn't mean that Forrest didn't have somebody. There is no proof either way. I'm just pointing out everything that we've talked about is still a true statement if Forrest told somebody to go get it. Now, whether you believe that or not is a personal choice that Forrest told somebody to go get it because he wanted to end it for some reason. And you're saying you believe there wasn't a real finder, that Forrest did not.
I believe there's a real finder. And one of the reasons, there's several reasons I believe that. One of them is it seems to me that the lawyer writing that brief knew, or motion or response, I don't know the terminology, said that he would present the finder. He also said Forrest, but let's put that aside. I would present the finder that found this, that I wrote a motion that said he's from back east. It was found in Wyoming, and Forrest didn't do all the things that was said in there.
I get it.
He said, and he has an ethical obligation not to present something that is a fraud or a scam to the courts. So I believe that lawyer has also validated there is a finder. The family has, the lawyer has, in my opinion.
That's 100% true. But what
was said in the lawsuit, in the response to Forrest, he didn't just say there was a finder. He said there was a finder that I had not met before, and in 2018, all of those things that lawyer said. So he didn't just say there was a finder. He said there was a finder that hold on.
Well, then let's just get into the conspiracy theory of this whole thing. And that's why this is going to go so long tonight. We might be here till midnight, everybody. And we are going to open the phone lines later on. to give you guys can give your opinion. If Forrest did, in fact, and I'm playing devil's advocate, if he wanted it over for whatever reason, he wanted it over. The person that he contacted to go get the chest, don't you think he would have told him, you may be called into court. I have these lawsuits. You're going to be the shy guy from back east, the finder, and you may have to go forward and explain how you found it. And here is the solution to the poem. This is how you found it. Wink. I mean, is that a possibility or no?
Oh, it's absolute.
And furthermore, could he have done it without his lawyer knowing? So as far as his lawyer knows, there was an actual finder, but Forrest is the only person who knows he actually had directed somebody to find it, to end it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Yes, absolutely.
So there is that small possibility.
Sure.
Okay.
So for me right now, and this was very different again a week or two ago, there's a 99% chance of a finder, 1% chance of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what is that percentage? With all the extra things you know.
All the extra secret and never to show the light of day things I know. Oh, if only you guys want Forrest's computer, what you really need is my computer. But anyway,
Michael.
Just kidding, people. Don't bring me into these conspiracy theories. To tell you the truth, I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. And the reason is because of the finder, because of the way the finder has done things. But you know what? Even if the finder came out and said, here's the solution, this is what I did, we have no way to prove it took him.
Right. You can blobbity blah, give me your answer.
Yeah.
Percent.
I don't know. I'd say 75% that there was a finder, 25% that Forrest directed somebody to end it. That would be my opinion. And then we did get a super chat from Mr. Copper Dan. When the finder met with Forrest at his home, he probably met the family. So has the family met him, the finder, and is that important for the court case, for the lawsuit?
Oh, in my opinion, absolutely it'd be important.
I
don't know if they have.
Right.
I have visited Forrest, let's just say for sake of discussion, 50 times. It might be 37, it might be 52, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I have never visited him when I didn't see someone.
Oh, part of the family.
Or the hospice worker or
lives there.
A searcher that like randomly comes up. That happened a lot. Yeah, someone. I don't think there's one time that there wasn't a person. Piper came by on her 16th birthday. Hi, Zoe. Oh, Peggy.
Yeah, I remember that. That. They're talking about birthday parties. They're talking about fishing. It's like we weren't even there. They're just talking to each other.
Right.
Like
I think they always saw that there was someone in Grandpa's den or Dad's den that they always just came in and said, "Hi, how you doing?" And then they went. And sometimes they had friends, and sometimes they were heading out. The one time Peggy was heading out to either get her nails done or something, and or hair done or something. She's like, "Bye, I'm taking it." And she went off with, I think it was Kelly that day. And yeah.
Randy's in the house. Valentine Goose says someone may have offered to buy the finder's story under condition it's an exclusive, so he can't talk. That's true. Could the finder have anonymously sold his story, and whoever bought that story is waiting to put it out?
And that is what came out of that. Remember that one? Toby believed it. That one website that said, we're basically selling the story. Do you guys want? Forrest told me that was nonsense. Nonsense. Good day, sir.
What it boils down to, everybody, is there's always conspiracy theories. There's people who think the moon landing was fake. There's people that think the JFK with the grassy knoll. This is going to be it. There's always going to be a conspiracy theory around this. Forrest Fenn was DB Cooper. Forrest Fenn sent somebody to retrieve the chest. Forrest Fenn this, Forrest Fenn that.
Yeah, but some things are more outlandish than others. Can we go back to the art? I know you got to get through the art. I would like to still get through the article.
All right. She's trying.
And I still have a whole list of. I'm fine stopping. I can tell. Well, you had a whole show on this. I was hoping. I've been wanting to do a show for weeks, and.
Okay, you're right, and I prevented you. You're right. That's true. Oh, also, there's a huge announcement at the end of the show. Okay, go ahead.
Stop it, Michael. Dear Lord, God, I'd rather the soundboard than. Okay. At the end of the day, is all of our similarities. I don't know what similarities there were. Forrest and I couldn't be less alike. I think that has been shown. I'm the kind of person who feels.
I'm going to interrupt you. At least the finder admits it. At least the finder recognizes that. I think that's important. The finder says me and Forrest are total opposites, but you know what? Forrest put the chest out there for anybody to find, and I'm the one that found it, and we have to deal with what this finder decides to do, and that's kind of how it is.
Well,
But
this is interesting
at
because
least he admits it, or she.
here's what I have envisioned in my mind. I'm the kind of person who feels burdened by possessions. I think of Forrest with that big, that Indian ceramic bowl and all the possessions around him, and I think of the finder with the cash. And it's not bad. I'm not knocking either one, but they definitely are so different. Forrest, I don't think anticipated. Basically, the finder said, I found it. I figured it out. Give me the cash. So the treasure in them will soon part. It will offer. I will offer it for sale, minus the turquoise bracelet. So that means that was returned to Forrest. So Forrest has that.
And I wonder if Forrest is wearing it when they did whatever the final resting place is. I wonder if Forrest has it on his arm or not. I don't know.
He was cremated. So
Oh, he was. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I think
Then
that's
somebody in the
my
family.
God, if that is not public knowledge, I will just never get
I
on
didn't
YouTube
know.
again.
So that bracelet was to go on eBay. Could you imagine the turquoise bracelet that was returned to Forrest from his 10-year treasure chest hunt? That would be huge. But anyway, okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know so things are going by. I'm not seeing them. The treasure is a unique piece of history. That's to say the least. The gold glitters. It should belong to a person or institute who will fully appreciate it. He's basically saying.
And again, he's accepting that he's not the person. So in a way, I give this person credit for saying I'm the total opposite of Forrest. I'm not going to appreciate it. I got to give it to somebody who does. Not give it. He's going to sell it. And Minotaur Moreno just made he's making a profit. Absolutely, he's making a profit. That was kind of I want the gold. That was the point of finding Forrest Fenn's treasure. I'm sorry. Whoever found it was going to make a profit in some way. Even if they kept it, they were going to sell their story or they were going to do something. Whoever found it is going to make a profit. It's just the way it works. So go ahead.
Okay, this one's interesting, but Forrest had a final wish for where he thought the treasure should end up. The first step for me will be to try to make that happen. This is interesting to me. So let's talk about this for a second. So let's say, for the sake of discussion, because a lot of people think this, that it's Cody Museum. This says will be to try. So that means he wasn't doing this the first couple of months. Was he totally standing down and waiting? So is he going to negotiate with, here's what I think may have happened. Oh no, did you, Mike, check your email. This is where it could be, where he is negotiating with a particular museum, wherever it is first. The first step will try to make that happen, but he's going to the highest bidder. I don't think so. Let me ask you, for sake of discussion, Mike, focus on my question for a second. I know I sent you that email.
Yeah,
I know, I saw that, and I wanted you. So if Forrest said to you, if you take it to auction, you're probably going to get $5 million.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I want it to go to the Cody Museum, but they'll only pay $3 million.
That's a rough one. That is a rough question, because you know what? I spent how many boots on the ground, this blood, sweat, and tears to find it. And Forrest realizes it's my decision. Forrest is just saying, if I have any say, I'd like it to go here. But what if the person could get, even if it's an extra $500,000, you know what I mean? That's a tough decision. I can't say that I would just do what Forrest wanted. I would give Forrest Fenn his bracelet back, but the other decisions are mine to make. And yeah, that's a hard one to make. And part of the reason that I've never been to the Cody Museum, so I don't know what that's all about. But wherever Forrest wanted it to go, yeah, that's rough when you could make a lot more money doing it a different way. I probably would make the decision that's best in my best interest, which probably would not be the museum, to tell you the truth. That's just me.
Well, but here's the interesting part. So, okay. So Holy said negotiations. So after you adore this man, after you find it, after he changes your life, after once you sell it, you're going to get $3 million. You're just not going to get $5 million. That's not enough. Forrest hasn't done enough for you. Forrest has remained, wrecked his legacy, et cetera, and you're not going to do his final wish. I want to know what the final wish is, because it better be. He wanted sent to Pluto.
Well, he didn't know it was his final wish. You know what I mean? He could have just said, "Hey, here's an idea."
No, he said final wish.
Oh, did he in
That
the article?
in
Oh,
the bring the article back up, my friend.
yeah, that's a rough one. And it depends what it is. What if it was something you don't
That it
do?
is but he didn't give us enough information. So since he didn't,
Yeah.
how can we yeah, this makes it hard. Yeah,
Well,
sell it with the reserve. That could be the way to do it.
I think the finder should do what's best for the finder. I think it's totally up to the finder.
Yeah.
If Forrest really wanted everybody to know, Forrest would have put it on Dale's blog that I think the finder should do this. You know what I mean? He told only the finder, as far as we know. He only told the finder where he would like it to end up. So to me, that just means he left it up to the finder, just like he left the
Yeah.
solution up to the finder as well.
Well, and a
But if
lot
I'm
of
the
people
finder, I got to do what's best for me, to tell you the truth, because
right.
I got a lot of school bills. So,
Well, and Indy, if you're looking for more than what I'm saying, this is it. This is just the little bits that I have and the information I'm putting out. This is it. So there's not more here. Um, but yes, definitely, Dell, you have to wait until the lawsuits are settled. Definitely. Um, but when you look back, when everybody says he didn't congratulate the finder, do you think he kind of spent a few days with them and maybe he figured out this might not be the person that
right. Yeah.
he would want to congratulate?
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
But as we go over this article the second time, the first one I was pretty critical. At least on this one, this guy admits he's opposite of Forrest. This guy admits he's not the person to collect things. And this says, to be honest, I'm not sure what to do. I think the article is a lot more honest than what I initially thought when I first read it, because he's kind of saying, I found it, but I don't want it. I want to sell it. I don't know what to do. So I guess I cut him a little bit of slack. And it's a huge decision. And if he was to come out and say who he is, he's going to get a million people telling him what to do. You know what I mean? Just think, if the
Yeah.
finder, what if the finder did this? What if at the end of this article there was an anonymous email address and he said, "Send me what you think I should do with it." Do you know how many emails that person's going to get? An email that would keep him anonymous. So he's
Oh,
still
looking.
anonymous.
He's right now. I think he's watching all of these different things. Because look, bring it
Yeah.
back up.
Your volume seemed to go low a little bit for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, go ahead.
As for legacy, I suppose in many ways it wait, I suppose it is in many ways in my hands as wrong as that feels. No, whether it feels wrong or not, it's in many ways, it's fully in your hands.
Yeah, it
That's
is in
how
your hands.
Forrest set it up. That's how you took that responsibility because Forrest wanted to do some things earlier on. In my opinion, he couldn't. And to be honest, I'm not sure what to do. And this is where he says, you will see, I'll be back to answer some more questions in any case.
So that's good. At least he gives us something, saying we don't know when, we don't know what questions, but and in my opinion, if he really is worried about the legacy of the chase, he needs to come out with a solution so that people can
Right.
put to bed that was there how did you find it? Then people will understand if it was legitimate or not. That's just my opinion. But whether he wants to do that anonymously, that's fine. We got a super chat from Josh Jambity B2, $4.99. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate that.
Yeah, so when he says he's going to answer some questions, but no, not that one. Which one?
Oh,
I'm assuming,
the location, right?
yeah, I'm assuming the location, and it sounds like you didn't have a solve. I don't know if you asked for us about that. So you don't have the solve. You do have, and you're saying no to the final location. I
What
hate to
question?
say, what else is there?
Well, now I believe the finder should come out and say, "War warm waters halt." Did it have to do with water, or did it not
How
have
do
to?
you know he knew that?
Well, didn't Forrest seem to think that if you did not solve the poem, you were not going to find his treasure chest?
Wait,
And
you just said in the article, it seems like he just figured out where he wanted to die, not the poem.
But could he have figured out where he wanted to die and backward engineer the clues? This is where Forrest wants to die. I know that. This 1 mile by 1 mile square area. Where is the home of Brown? Did he, and that's what I want to know, is his solution story.
Right.
Did he backward engineer anything? Did he figure out where warm waters halt and then figure out what Forrest wanted to die?
Right. Well, and Marty brings up a great point. Even if the finder brute forced it, don't you think Forrest would have disclosed the full solution during their meeting? Yes, I do. I do actually think he knows it. I don't know if he knows that he knows it.
I just wish the finder would have made it back, because think of that conversation a month or two after it's been found. All the questions he could have answered, he could have asked Forrest. And I think Forrest would have answered anything he asked, right? About the Omegas at the end of the book, about anything. I think why would Forrest hold anything back? He would still leave it up to the finder to disclose any of it, but he could have had so many things answered. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm not understanding this. Marie's saying if Forrest was so close to passing on 9/7, why in the world would he be in the least concerned about emailing you the day before, like father, like son, let's get real. I don't know what that
Well,
means.
Marie, you're assuming he was close to passing, meaning I think she means
That-
if Forrest knew he was going to die, why would he worry about emailing certain people? I don't think Forrest knew he was going to die on the day he
No.
died. It was a sudden thing. Yes, he was 90, but I don't think it was like, I don't feel well. You know, I mean, I'm just
I
guessing.
think he might have known something, but if, in my opinion, he had set up a meeting for us to have a final interview, and all the questions that he was allowed to say outside of, he said to me, you can't have the 9 points, you can't have the final location, and you can't have the searcher's identity. I'll give you everything else.
Okay.
And again, I've said this before.
Because I didn't know if you were actually going to say it, but you did.
I already have several times.
Are you sure?
I have. Everybody can say yes.
All right.
Some
So
people listen to me when I'm on.
you in fact were going to meet Forrest. Can you say how? Were there any dates involved? Was it sooner?
I
rather
don't want to say any of that.
Okay.
I will say it was imminent. He asked me, and I went over this.
Did you? I don't remember.
Yeah, he asked me. Well, if I didn't, I'm doing it now. I asked him, well, what does that mean? And he said, give me some example questions. And I sent him, I think it was 5. I asked him, what was the key word in the poem that what was the one thing everyone was missing? What were page numbers of TTOTC where there were hints? Did the illustrations matter in
Did
TTOTC?
the illustrations have any hints? Is a good one. I would have wanted.
Yeah,
To know
those were the 4. No, I said, here's some examples. Should I rule any of these out?
that.
And he said, no, I can do all of those. Come up with a
Well,
list.
just for everybody's clear, Forrest was going to give an interview. Was this going to be filmed, or did you guys talk about that?
It was going to be filmed.
So Forrest was going to give an interview after the chest was found. He was not going to give the solution to the poem, and he was not going to give the location. He was going to stay true to his word to leave that with the finder, but he was going to answer what he could, other than those two.
Right. Yeah. And Holy says, I've already gone over this.
And when when K-Pro first told me that, I said, well, what do you mean he's not going to give the solution or the location? Then what are you going to ask? Like, and then she said, what's the key word in the poem? What about what's in? And I thought, oh yeah, okay, it would be nice. At first I didn't get it. I'm like,
I was like, it's WWWH water. Is it a hot spring?
Yeah.
Is it and I actually was, oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, when he said dip your toe in it, did he mean it literally? Was warm waters a dip your toe and feel the temperature? All these questions we would have got the answer to, but we didn't. And that's just
but there was some caveats. He said this time he wanted all the questions beforehand. So I was going to, because he didn't want to do the, I don't want to answer that or no or any of that. And I told him this, I offered this to him and he said, yes, I wasn't going to get a full release. The last interview, we got a full release beforehand. I told him he could have full editing rights of how we were going to present it, because I think we kind of botched it on the last one of this one on this channel, this one half here, this one with crap in the background. We didn't professionally edit it. And I think he never said it, but I think that's what he was expecting.
So Forrest was going to let you be the interviewer, but he really was going to own the thing to do with what he wanted to.
No, not own it, but he was going to have the rights to be able to edit it.
Final say.
Right, final
right,
edit.
First refusal. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, he was going to. Gotcha. Okay. So that's, to me, that's interesting, and it just shows the friendship that you had with Forrest that I don't think many people realize. So that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand it. I always thought, and I always put the caveat that I was a search friend. And then somebody reached out very close to him and shared a few things and how much our friendship meant. And again, I cried. I mean, this was a couple days ago.
In my opinion.
I know, but you don't know that until the person that validated and said what they said. They could not have known some of the things that they knew without them knowing some things, that reasons why Forrest was important to me. And that, I don't know why that gave me such relief. Like, I didn't want Forrest to think I was just, I don't know. It was very nice to have that reassurance piece. Okay, so let me put a few things together. So the person who found it, I don't believe solved the 9 clues. And I think Forrest thought nobody was going to stumble upon it. This person basically stumbled upon it. They did it systematically. They spent 25 different days, full days, boots on the ground, but they stumbled upon it, right?
We do not know. You do not. I do not know from reading that article if this person stumbled upon it or figured out the 9 clues in the poem to find it. You can read it both ways. I figured out where Forrest Fenn wanted to die because I found the chest, or I figured out where Forrest Fenn wanted to die with the poem or without the poem. I can't. You can read it both ways. So there's not enough information for me to say one way or the other. It sounds like I would lean toward he figured out where Forrest wanted to die some way, some shape of form outside of the poem. But I don't think he could just, yeah, I don't know. Without knowing the actual location, I can't say if he brute forced and just used a metal detector and crisscrossed miles and miles until he found it.
I don't think he hacked someone's computer in another state, though. Sorry.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Sorry, that was unkind.
Yeah.
I do not believe he went with confidence, because when he found it, I mean, well, he said he didn't go with confidence. And Forrest said the person that's going to go is going to go with confidence. I don't think he had a 10 by 10 spot identified when he went out there, or a specific small spot. So I don't think this was solved as Forrest thought it was going to be solved. Right?
Outcast Searcher says, didn't Forrest say the poem led them to the chest? On the post on Dale's blog, Forrest did say that. So
to the exact spot? Did it say, does it say that exact spot?
The poem led them exactly where I left it. It basically,
well, that's true, but that's different than
what?
The poem took them to
the place where I left the chest. Yeah. Right. And Forrest did say that. So yeah, you know what? And Forrest has always said, if you don't follow the poem, you're not going to find it. I mean, hasn't he always said there's 9 clues, and if followed precisely, it will lead you there? The vastness of Wyoming, I don't see how anybody could find it without following the clues. So, you know,
then why did they do it for 25 different days?
Well, think about it. It's not as simple as going where warm waters halt, check. Homer Brown, check. It could have been 25 days trying to find the right Homer Brown. Let's say, for instance, he found the right where warm waters halt. Well, it could have taken him 25 days to find the other 9 clues, right? We don't know, because we don't know how big of an area this was. We don't know. We can't say. What was the blaze? Why did it take you so long to find the blaze? How big was the blaze? If it was 1 foot by 1 foot and it was arrow that pointed down, that could take 25 days to find. You know what I mean? There's not enough information to make a decision, in my opinion.
Well, so let's go to, who do we think wrote that? It could be, we already know it's a highly educated person, or in my opinion, it's a highly educated person paying off student debt. But do we think a woman? There is some analysis. It's very interesting. Shadowcaster also posted up on Thor, and I think a few of the sites, a analysis of Douglas Preston's writing, because we have plenty of samples to use, and the site, the article from the Medium, and they seem to match the writing styles, which was interesting.
Well, as far as male or female, didn't Forrest say that it's a shy guy from back east? The term guy. Well, then it has to be a male, doesn't it?
I believe so. Here is my but it's my opinion with some validation that I am not going to say much more on. I believe an individual picked up and retrieved the chest. I believe a team of people and a female belongs in that team to the group, and I think that's part of the reason they're selling. I don't believe that the finder owns the entire treasure chest standalone. I might be totally wrong, but I have some good reason, and once I get a little bit more, I could share a little bit more. I believe that's the reason that this is going to be sold and divided up, and that's what's going to pay off that student loan, because it's not $1 million he needs. He might have 4 in his party. Let's just say there's 4, and out of that 4, they get 250,000 each, or whatever it is.
So while the shy guy from back east may have met Forrest to show him the chest, that article could have been written by a female that was part of the group. And okay, I mean, maybe that's a possibility. I guess it's a possibility. Although I do think the article says uses the pronoun took me 25 days, but I guess it's not.
I don't believe everything in that article is exactly accurate. I think there's some wordplay.
Ooh.
And I believe that there is some Fenn speak.
Well, and conspiracy theory, they already put it in the chat. What if Douglas Preston wrote the article because Douglas Preston is the one who retrieved it because Forrest worked all this out with Douglas Preston. After I die, release this article. You know how to write it. I mean, what if Forrest was the person that Forrest wanted to end the chase for whatever reason, and Douglas went out, retrieved it, that kind of thing. But then the lawyer would know it was Douglas Preston because he was there in the room, and that's yeah. And
Well, so
motion they filed or the response to the subpoena, he said we'll supply the finder or the solution, right? Okay.
yeah, well, and so here is something else. I believe there was some more than one significant incident that happened with Forrest that would have wanted him to call off the chase the couple days preceding to when he called off the chase.
Oh, are we going to talk about that or
no?
Okay.
I do not have permission to talk about that.
Okay.
But
go ahead.
That actually, I think, gives merit to, and one of the major reasons why I thought there was not a finder. But I now believe different. So I was more of a doubter than anyone else.
So the night of Saturday, June 6th, or was it Friday? Saturday night, June 6th is when Forrest sent out the email to certain people. You were one of them saying the treasure chest has been found.
Yes.
You were saying there were certain events that happened before June 6th when he sent that email that made you believe that Forrest may have ended it himself.
Yes.
But now, since then, you do not believe that's the case.
Correct. I believe that Douglas Preston might be involved in helping write that article.
What?
I don't believe it's Douglas Preston. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It is well written enough that it could be a professional writer. I do not believe Douglas Preston went and retrieved it. I do not believe Shiloh went and retrieved it. And I would have said very differently a couple of weeks ago.
And Josh, Jamity B2, thanks for that super chat earlier. He says, why is everyone saying the poem wasn't used, but this quote was in an article by Forrest himself? I do not know the person who found it, but the poem in my book led him to the precise spot. So, and I believe that even if I used the poem to find his chest, 5 days, that could have taken 6 months, because even if I know I have the right where warm waters halt, it could take me that long to figure out the rest of the clues, right? I had the wrong Homer Brown for 3 weeks, and then I have to realize the mistake I made. How many solutions have we heard where it's, I know I was in the right spot, but I had this wrong, and so yeah, I believe the poem led him to it. Yeah.
Yeah, what did Forrest ask you when he said, how can you confirm the finder when he's gone? I wish he would have answered that, because that's what I'd be looking at right now.
Susie's pissed right now. She says, how can you say that about the timeline, but then not say what it is?
Well, you guys know one of them. One of them is the lawsuit. He was served with a lawsuit the day before. So I mean, it was those sorts of things. Right. I'm not going to disclose if Forrest had personal things going on. That's not mine to say. I would just say that there are additional things. I can say nothing. I sure can say that. So, and if that's the better way to go, if that makes people feel better not to know anything, I can go that direction. That's no problem at all. So, but here's the other question.
I wish you weren't a lawyer.
Yeah, sure. And chalk it up to me just, it could have been he had a hangnail that day. That's all it is.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not going to get questioned about what I'm willing to say and not to say.
Hangnail a clue.
Whatever.
Okay.
Why put out the Medium article? Why put it out at the Medium? Why the Medium?
I don't know what Medium is. Is that a way to anonymously post something? I'm not familiar with what Medium is. Somebody said it was posted to Reddit, and that's where it got out from there. Is that true? I guess Outcast Searcher, did you find it on Reddit first, or do you know what this Medium website is and you found
it? I never heard of it before.
Me either. I don't know. I still don't know what Medium is because I just never looked into it. So why that forum to do it? I don't know,
Yeah, Mr. Clue says, Occam's razor says, person unknown to Forrest found it. Yeah, that's where I'm starting to lean. And man, did I think there was a conspiracy. And there's a lot of us that did. And I think, yeah, and the fake blaze.
Not only Occam's razor, Forrest Fenn himself said it. So I've always said I believe in what Forrest says. If Forrest was going to end the chase, why this year? Why the weekend of June 6th? Why not when the first person died? Why not when the second person died? Why not when somebody broke into his house? Why not when his family member was kidnapped, potentially? All these things. What could have been so bad that made
Did
him?
he know he was going to be? Did he know he was going to pass?
Now, if he knew he was sick, I mean, plus, even if he didn't know he was sick, he was 90. He was almost 90. Could he just have said, I'm not going to leave this BS and these
He said he wasn't going to do it.
crazy.
He would never do it over again. Yeah.
And that's, yeah, you know what? That's is a reasonable possibility to say, I'm not going to put this on my family. I guess it's a possibility.
Yeah, but why now? Why this way? But here's the big question. If that's the case and the family wanted nothing to do with it, why put it up on Old Santa Fe Trading Company? Why not just let Dale put whatever up with Dale? Otherwise, they're out of it. Why did
they're trying
what?
to distance themselves from it?
I think they just did the opposite.
From the person who does have it. Go sue him. Go bother him. Go
but you don't know who he is, so sue us because we might.
Yeah.
They just did the opposite, in my opinion. I think they might be trying their best, but
or do you think they did it as a because Forrest would have wanted it posted there because that's how it ended, for better or for worse? Do you think they put it there because Forrest would have wanted it there? Could it be that simple, sentimental?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that I still believe that Forrest had the right to end the treasure hunt. We had 10 years to find it and we didn't. And then somebody said, yeah, but I just found out about it 6 months before it ended. I didn't have 10 years. Well, that's on you. That's not on Forrest that you only found out about it. Some people found out about it after it was found. I believe Forrest had the right to retrieve it, especially with all the crap that he went through.
And you and I disagree.
I just don't agree with how he did it if he had it retrieved. Right. He should have given an end date. He should have said January 1, 2020, the thrill the chase is over and I will have it retrieved. And that would give everybody a chance to go get it or do their boots on the ground or whatever. But I do believe he had that right because he's the one who put it there. Even though it was quotation fingers abandoned property, he knew where it was. And he even jokingly said, when it hits 5 million, I'm going to go back and get it. I think he had that right to go back and get it for any reason he wanted to. I know your point. He should have lied about it if that's what happened. If there's no shy guy from back east, he never should have posted that and lied about it.
Right, I agree with you there, but I don't know if I would have been okay him going back and getting it. I would have had to have been, but if he was going through stuff in his life, and let's say for sake of discussion, he had just found out he was going to pass soon. Let's say, would it be okay then? And I don't know.
Wow. Chasing Indy says, I looked it up and the finder, quotation fingers, and Douglas Preston are following each other and the creative team at Medium. Is it possible that the finder reached out to Douglas Preston for some help with writing an article? I mean, that's not beyond the scope of realm of possibility, right?
Yeah. And I will say, Douglas, many people say that Douglas has put out on Facebook comments, but they were deleted, but no one has a screen capture. I find that remarkable. But I don't have, and a lot of people have said what he did say or what the family said. Right now, I just haven't seen it, so I need to know.
And Bobby D's got a good point. Happy belated birthday to Bobby D. His birthday was a couple days ago, right? Yesterday. Recently, he had a birthday. He says you can put out a story to any news media without anyone knowing your identity. So why not a more known news outlet like New York Times? And that's true. Why did he use Medium? Because obviously he works for Medium. No, I have no idea. I have no idea. So yeah. But
why would he be scheduling? This is the other thing. Going back to Forrest. Huh?
I'm out of coffee. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Why would he be scheduling a visit with Cynthia and I to come and give him this chest? Why would he be scheduling this interview? There was a lot of things he really did want out. I don't think he'd be doing that if he knew. I think he knew. Anybody at 90 has to think my days are numbered. I mean, it's not like you're 20 or 40 or 50, but I don't think he knew he was going to pass that day. I don't think he knew his days were numbered.
And I think it's fun to talk about. So let's go down the rabbit hole / conspiracy theory if Forrest retrieved it. Do you guys think, because the majority of people that are watching and in this chat room probably have bought AGK's treasure hunt book, do you guys believe Toby and Shelley have the right to end their treasure hunt prematurely before that end date and go retrieve the proxy? Do you believe they have the right to do that? You may not like it, but do you think they have the legal? Now, the legal and ethical are two different things, right? do they have that right to say the XYZ happened to us? Somebody tried to kidnap Shelly. Somebody showed up in front of my house. We're ending this thing. I went and got it. It's over. The treasure hunt's over. And guess what? You're not getting your money back for the books, whoever bought the book. Do you think they have that right, or do you think it would be wrong for them to do that? And that's a question for
Sure.
everybody in the chat.
Yeah. Now, has anybody died yet? Has anybody?
But here's the other thing. I don't think Toby and Shelly have to justify why they ended it.
Sure.
It's their
No,
treasure
but I'm
hunt,
not
they can
for
decide that-
you.
Okay.
For you in this
Yeah.
hypothetical situation, for you that might not play a part. How many people? See, we're talking a little bit different. I hate to say some people, right or wrong, just like, do I think casinos should be able to be sued that somebody gambled too much over gambling addiction?
Yeah.
I do not, but they do. We have
Right.
some people that lost their life, some people that lost their homes, some people threw away their entire families. So
because that happened, that Forrest should not end it. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's harder to, or it's not as justified in my mind. If they have if Toby and Shelly have a $10,000 prize out there and people go crazy and it's early on, I think that's a lot more clear cut in my mind. I think
Right.
Forrest had no idea what he was getting into with the negative people. And he said that was the one thing he did not anticipate. And that does change some things. I don't know if it changes enough to do what you say. You have brought me around to some of that thinking.
Well, Jim B says that would be fraud. If you put out a treasure hunt and say this is the end date and then you end it prematurely, is that a contract that you've made with people when you put out a book and it has a set of rules and one of the rules is we're going to let it go for 1 year?
Yeah.
And if you try to end it before that, is that fraud? I mean, I don't know. Now it's different with Forrest because he didn't profit off it. He didn't make any money off the book. So you can't sue Forrest, I don't believe, for I want the price of that book back. Forrest didn't sell it to you, the Collected Works bookstore.
Right. Right.
So maybe that's a little bit different. But yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, it had to have been a court case on the idea of this premise before.
Well, if he pulled it, this would be my question. Could the person that lost their house and went through a divorce and had all these lawyers' bills and all of that, could they go and sue Forrest for pulling it prematurely? I mean, there's a lawyer for everything, right?
Yeah, and if Forrest did that, if Toby and Shelly did that, ended it prematurely, I'm sure somebody would sue him. Somebody would be upset and say, I bought this book under the good faith that this was going to run for the year. It's just, yeah, there's a legal question, there's an ethical question, and there's, what's best for your family question, I guess. I don't know. But Forrest didn't have an end date. So, but I do believe Forrest said, it's there until somebody finds it. It's out of my hands now. So if he would have ended it, people definitely have a right to complain.
Well, okay, let me play a horrible situation. Let's say a searcher took him hostage and maimed him and did horrible things to him and tortured him, and he finally lived through it, but he didn't give it up, and he decided to end it that next day. Wouldn't that be okay? I would feel like it is.
I'm not the judge of what's in Forrest's mind. It's up to Forrest. It's his treasure hunt. It's up to Toby and Shelly. It's their treasure hunt. I know Toby and Shelly, and they're honorable people. They would not end it unless they had a good, valid reason.
Yeah,
but I would not be like, you have to tell me what that reason was, and then I'll decide if it's justifiable or not. That's just me, though. I mean, if Randy said, you guys are crazy and you make fun, so I'm ending it. I went and got the proxy item last week and it's over. I'd be upset, but it's still his right. I'd like, if Valentine Goose, if you're still watching, I wonder how you feel about that. Do you think you have a right to end your treasure hunt if for whatever reason, if you have a valid...
and do you have a right to keep it going? There, Fandango is a great example. They said at the end of this month, if they don't find it, they're going to go retrieve it and donate it to charity. And I tried to say, make it go one more year.
End it, yeah.
And some people were like, no, they made a promise. I want to know the end. And the end is at the end of the month and they're donating it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. In other words, when you do these things, is that a contract? Or yeah, that's a legal point, I guess. But anyway, okay. Yeah, Mr. Finder, you need to put out the solution in some way, shape, or form to remain anonymous, but we need to know. There's questions we have. There's questions that need to be answered.
I guess.
I want the gold. Give me the gold.
That's right. But we're not going to get the gold because you have the gold, and that's okay. You found it, but you got to give us a solution instead of the gold, I think. That's my opinion, though. All right. What else, K-Pro? That was the article. Do you want to...
Yeah, I had a list of other things.
Yeah,
Let's
what else do
see.
you wanna go over?
Let me
Breaking
see.
news that Forrest was going to give an interview, but just didn't happen. So
No, it wasn't breaking news. I said it on many, many different shows, and Holly and the room said, "No, you said it before." That wasn't. It was breaking news to people that started listening to me tonight, Mike.
okay.
Okay. Even though I know you're probably in here, I do have to say, I am breaking up with Vegas Die.
Oh, well,
I'm
breaking
sorry.
news, everybody. And it's not that K-Pro's breaking up. So let me see the time of this. This email came in 32 minutes ago. It was from Mr. Stephen Grogan, who is the author of Vegas Die. This is his email, word for word. Did you not see my post during your Forrest Fenn discussion? He. So apparently Forrest, apparently Stephen Grogan has posted in this chat tonight. And we don't know what that means. Was it a clue? Was it a hint? Somebody go back through the chat and find it and send me what Stephen Grogan posted. We are going to do a private Zoom. And by private, I mean it's not on YouTube. Anybody who wants in on the Zoom. Yeah, JBR Princess says, what? Exactly.
Well, I'm going to explain.
And I'm assuming he's Stephen Grogan in the chat, although he didn't say that. I'm assuming it's SP Grogan. So we're going to have to look and see what he said. So, but anyway, that's the Vegas Die breaking news.
Okay, and let me tell you why, because some people are completely inventing stuff.
Go ahead, K-Pro.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're going to say why you broke up.
So some people are coming up with crazy drama conspiracy theories. God, that hate site is just funny. So here's why. It seems in the Zoom, we have figured out, and I am, no, I'm not breaking up with Bally's. We have figured out that there may be more than one book needed. There is a 600-page book of Vegas Die.
That's a true statement, but go ahead.
Here is what so the group thought that there may be not only Vegas Die 2.0 that you have, but also you have Vegas Die 1.0 to do some comparison work from. Stephen has made it clear that you don't need 1.0, but it may help you. So then somebody in chat believes, I won't tell you all the reasons why, that you actually need the Lafayette book. Lafayette is another really long book. And he has said, the world of the universe of the author is important. So here's what I wrote. I said, Stephen, we had a flurry of questions about if there is any hints to solve in the Vegas Die hunt in your other books, such as Lafayette. Many hours of discussion happening now, and want to prevent a true rabbit hole, if you could say. His answer was, didn't Alice fall into a rabbit hole? Sorry, I didn't see your email until this morning because I gave it to him late at night during the Zoom. The universe of the author is always revealing. There are no Vegas Die clues in the past writings of Captain Cooked, With Revenge Comes Terror, Atomic Dreams at the Red Tiki Bar Lounge, ... Best wishes, SG. And I said, but you did not include Lafayette in that list. Is the ... meaning all your books or just the ones you named? And his response was Curnon, Curnon.
Which means?
Oh, crap. Let me look it up.
You said, why not?
I think that's what it means.
Curnon.
Which means Lafayette's family motto, why not?
So here's the gist, everybody. Although I will say I don't agree with one thing K-Pro said. What we have found out, and Stephen Grogan has given hints all along, I think, is that there may be a hint in his republished novel, Lafayette, that helps solve Vegas Die. We don't know what the hint is. We haven't figured it out yet. We thought we knew. We're not sure yet. I still got to look at it. We don't know if you need it to find the end prize, which is the pirate coin. We don't know if you need that hint to find the 3 mini prizes, which are worth $50 each. We don't know. So when K-Pro says you have to have Lafayette to solve Vegas Die, I don't know that yet. What I do know is there could be a possible hint or clue in Lafayette. And understand K-Pro's frustration. She doesn't want to have to buy a second book for a treasure.
Not only buy, I'm sorry, a 500-page book. So now there's Lafayette now 1.0 and 2.0, Vegas Die 1.0, 2.0. Show the book. Show Lafayette, Mike. Go get Lafayette. Off our bookshelf. He has Lafayette. He loves. Anyway, we're talking books this thick, and there's now 4 of them. And
And another, I look at it, boom, both the same type cover. They're both black. Well, you know what I mean. They're both dark, but that's not a hint at all. This is Vegas Lafayette. This is the Lafayette. And this is Vegas Die. This is the republished Vegas
no,
Die.
show
Treasure
how
Hunt.
thick it, show how it is. Show how thick it is.
And I'll give you the page numbers. So,
And those are the 2.0s. There's also the 1.0. So there's 2 of those, and then there's 2 more. So there's 4, but and I'm not saying it's
Lafayette is 300 pages. Vegas Die is 410. I will say he has been given hints all along. At the end of Vegas Die, he puts something in French, which is, was it Finny? Whatever. I don't know how you say French or pronounce French. After you guys know that after Anna Lama Ding Dong, he put, wait, no, that's the, he put right there. Isn't that French for finished? Finis. Finis. God darn it. All right, let me look.
well, and this is the thing. There are so many treasure hunts out there. I'm just going to pick the one that fits me and works for me. And so is it a huge deal that I'm not going to work on it anymore? Mike is. Man, we were out looking for daggers today. So it's still going to be out there for Mike. I'm just telling you, for me, and a lot of people ask me for my thoughts on different hunts. For me, when a second, third, or fourth book gets into play, for me, it's actually more time than the money. I don't care about the 30, 40, 50 bucks for each book.
I was correct. That is French. So he ended the book with a French word. Lafayette, if you don't know, is all about this French guy that was, and it is the Lafayette that's in Hamilton. It's that Lafayette that helped us in the Revolutionary War. But the reason I'm working on it,
I want to go.
that's why I'm working on it. I want the pirate coin. I want the $2,500. So whether Lafayette's involved or not, I'm still going to work on it. I'm still going to do Zooms on it. But K-Pro is right. There's a lot of treasure hunts out there, and she can choose not to work on
Well,
it.
and some people are like, I love big, huge books that I can sit down and take the time. Unfortunately, we have 4 kids. We have stuff going on. I travel a ton. I tried to get through all of AGK's book. I haven't even gotten through that. So I just got to pick. I'm trying to settle down, y'all. Is it huge breaking news? No, but some people are trying to say it's for other reasons. You guys are silly gooses.
And JBR Princess points out it may be helpful in some way, but you don't have to have it in order to solve the Vegas Die puzzle. Similar to what Forrest did when the Too Far to Walk came out. There's an unintended clue in this book, but Forrest said all you need is the poem. I don't know if Stephen has said all you need is Vegas Die 2.0.
And here's part of the reason.
Well, maybe he'll clarify for us. Yeah.
So for me, the Forrest Fenn hunt, I have every gallery catalog that Forrest ever has. I have thousands and thousands. I have every single book Forrest has ever. I have all 12 printings of TTOTC. I don't want to go down that road again. So once I see something like that, I say, oop, I'm out, no more. Just like I said, and it's not a big deal. I love the Beacon Star story. Once I figured out how you have to crack it through ciphers, and now there's not 10, there's 22 or whatever, I'm out. Is it a big deal? No, but I'm just telling you guys why, in case you want to work on something different. Mike's still working on it. He's going to do Zooms. He's going to love it. There you go.
Yeah. So we do private Zooms twice a week and other times. And anybody that wants to get on that invite list, just email me, cowlazars@gmail.com. But we do have another treasure hunt we need to talk about. Chasing Indy is in the room. She even gave us a hint. Is that fair? She gave us a hint?
Mike,
what?
We were supposed to put the AGK,
the book. We are going to give away an AGK book as well, everybody. We'll talk about it. We'll do it. We just won't do it tonight. Okay. The puzzle is live. Where's the puzzle?
Oh, Sea Dog, if you think there's a Codex connection, guess what Douglas Preston's next book is about? A treasure hunt. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Chasing Indy, where is your, it's on your page, right? It's under yours. So there is a treasure hunt that Chasing Indy has put out, and it's based on the movie Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler and whoever else, Jessica Sarah Parker, and I have no idea who else. I'm not real familiar with the movie. I guess I'm probably going to have to watch it if I want to work on this thing. Can't hear you. So Indy, but she did give us a Bobby D. You couldn't find what? Oh, I don't know. That's what we're going to have to go back and find. It may have been at the
He
very
may have
beginning.
deleted.
It may be at the very beginning of this chat, which you're not going to be able to see until it's processed. But Chasing Indy's got a treasure hunt out. It's really cool that the prize for this treasure hunt is in fact a signed movie poster of Hocus Pocus, signed by the cast. And I think she paid like $230 for it or something. So kind of cool. Look up Chasing Indy on YouTube. I'm sure you can get all the info there. I'm not actually going to show it, but she did give us a hint, everybody. She gave us a
Here
hint.
we go. Dun, 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 dun.
There it is. Here it is. I will show.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
There it is, everybody. You guys know Chasing Indy's voice. Check it out. I will show you her YouTube channel. Chasing Indy, 896 subscribers. And if 104 of you go subscribe, she will be at 1,000, if my math is correct. Check it out. Which, please, I like the little play on words. A Hocus Pocus treasure hunt puzzle by Chasing Indy and John Miller. Awesome. I didn't realize John Miller was included. This is the video.
Do you know why?
I do not know why.
John Miller won the one that Indy and
Oh, that's right.
Nick Spera did together. So
That's
he
right.
donated his prize pool, and I think she bought the poster or something. So John is kind of the donor to it, which is awesome.
And Nick Spera won the other treasure hunt that Chasing Indy did. Did you guys see how we all pay it forward? Isn't that awesome? And when me and K-Pro win Vegas Die, we're going to pay it forward too. So Chasing Indy on YouTube, go check it out. Watch the video. We could even do a Zoom on Hocus Pocus over the weekend if anybody wants to do that. If anybody wants to do a Zoom on any treasure hunt, let me know and we'll figure it out.
Also, go boots on the ground if I'm in town. I'm going to be traveling. And oh, by the way, I saw Mr. Clue in the room. I'm heading out tomorrow. It's going to take me a while to get to where I need to get. I am heading out, boots on the ground. It's going to be, sorry, Mike, girls only.
Okay. Yeah, I know. You're going to go look for Mr. Clue's treasure, which is 15 grams of gold, which is awesome. I need to show Chasing Indy's hint. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. So let me put it in Word because I'll probably mispronounce it. So this is the hint from Chasing Indy. Chasing Indy. Let me blow it up so everybody can see it. Wow. Didn't work at all. All right. Give me a second, everybody. Zoom it bigger. Okay. This is, in fact, the hint for the Hocus Pocus treasure hunt. There it is. Can everybody see that? Valet, imago, mille, verba. That's the problem, is I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm assuming it's a line from the movie. I'm assuming it's a spell or a hex, but I'm just assuming because I've actually never seen the Hocus Pocus movie. I may check it out this weekend. And actually, let me put that in the chat. And that would be the best way to do it, right? This is the hint from Chasing Indy. There you go, everybody.
Now, here's something so cool, Indy. My daughter happens to love this movie. And so I actually played the video for her just before we went on. And she's like, oh, that's not exactly how it went. That's not how it was in the movie. And I said, right.
Yeah.
If that's an inaccuracy, and I haven't watched the movie, I've had it on, but she just watched it like 2 days ago. She goes, if something's wrong, does that mean it's a hint? I said, that's where you kind of start looking. So she's super excited. So anyway, there you have it. There it is.
Okay, we are giving away a Vegas Die book, everybody. Check it out.
You mean an AGK?
Not a Vegas Die book. And one of the coins. So we are going to give away this book, AGK's book, not this one that says not for resale. He sent us a new one. And one of their awesome coins. There it is right there. So this is what we're going to do. I guess I'll just do this on the fly. And that is comment on this video. This video, what we're live on right now, and the next time we go live, which will be Monday of next week, we will use Comment Picker to select somebody for the free book and the free coin. AGK, the treasure hunt. Check it out on Amazon. You know, they said if they get 50 reviews on Amazon, they will translate that poem for us. And we're still
48.
not at 50.
They're at 48.
People.
Well, no, here's the problem. And this is what we figured out because we tried to convince them on Bobby's birthday to do it for Bobby.
Yeah.
People have done them. Do you know that Amazon has a couple-day hold? So I think people have done it.
Let's look right now. Let's look.
Okay, it was 48 earlier today. And now it's not ratings. You have to put some words in there, guys.
Yeah, how is it not already done? That's what I don't understand. They announced this like over a week ago, right? All right, let's look. We're going to look together right now. Happy birthday, Bobby. Happy belated birthday. I just passed it up. There we go.
Oh, cool.
And we go
Eleanor
down.
is saying, I know most people are not doing the Dolos, but FYI, the new Dolos mini puzzle is going to be a Fenn tribute. Oh, that's cool.
So this says 54 global ratings. How do we, is
Right.
this it? Is this the number they're looking
No,
for?
you have to. No, I just said it's not ratings. It's number.
But where do we get the numbers? What I'm
I
asking.
don't know. You're the Amazon guy.
Oh, all right. We'll just
It's
go here and
somewhere.
comment. He wants 50 of these reviews. Could be good or bad. He just wants somebody.
Yeah, no, go down. Okay, wait, go down. Go down.
Okay. What
Go
the heck
down.
is this?
Go down. I don't know. Go down.
I present you with the proxy
That's
item.
Bobby D.
Code. Bobby, you put a code in the review on Amazon. I love it. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay. 3D. I'm assuming
Go all the way down.
all the way down.
And it says
Y'all
see
reviews?
all, and then I think it gives you the number.
54 global.
No, go
All
down.
there's one critical reviews.
No, there's one critical, top positive. Go
Yeah. It still says 54 global.
right,
48
right
global.
there. You go.
Oh, 54 ratings, 48 global reviews. We need 50 global reviews, everybody.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have heard what the actual translation is, and it translates to this.
I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
I want the gold. It would be awesome to get the correct translation. So thank you, because we've been pulling our hair out trying to agree, right? So everybody get your butt over there and give a actual review, not a rating, a review. You got to type out a review, and hopefully on Toby and Shelley's show next week, Monday. They're on Monday?
No, we're on Monday.
Wednesday. And they're on Wednesday night. Hopefully next Wednesday we'll get the
Wait, I have more
we'll
to say.
get the translation.
Epic Space wants to say, can you give us a Mr. Clue hint? I can't give you anything more than they did. The hex tiles is where everything starts. In my opinion, someone else actually cracked it and has been working with Mike and I. If it was me, I'd be putting it out and then let's make it a foot race. It's not for me to give out. So I will say it's very clever. But I think a lot of people have that first part. There is something that Mike thinks he's cracked. I don't know. We're gonna see.
Sorry. 25 grams of gold, everybody. I want the gold. K-Pro wants the gold. She's going this weekend to look. We're just not sure. We think we have the right general location. We're not sure how to narrow it down. There must be another cipher or something going on in this, something with the rule book, because somebody asked down here about being specific. And when I said how close do the clues lead to the proxy item, he said close.
Close.
So yeah, there's something we're missing, but K-Pro is going on an adventure. She is one of the Goonies. She's just going to look for it. So I hope we're in the right location.
You know what? I'm a little antsy and it's been a hard week. I do want you to know that my kids had their report cards this week. And D-Pro got his choice of what he wanted to do because he has never gotten, I do have to say I'm pulling my hair out when it comes to homeschooling, but he's never gotten such good grades. I won't go over what they are, but for where he was to where he is now, we pull our hair out together, and he's done awesome. My daughter has done really well, not as well as I want her to, not her full potential. And so she's going with me. The boys are staying together and doing their gaming stuff. And so, yeah. Do you agree
Boys
with
weekend?
No, girls weekend?
No, boys weekend at home. We're gonna have some fun. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, because we're going to be driving for a while, heading to Tumble Bear. I don't know if you heard, Doug. Tumble Bear has been canceled. Oh, it's
Yeah, I
okay.
see. Toby. Well, no, I have the other books. I just didn't have within arm reach. That's all. So we're going to give away one of the other books you sent us, and we have more than one book to give away. But on Monday's show, we're going to give one book away, and that's through Comment Picker. If you comment on this show, thank you, AGK. Thank you for giving us the books to give away and the coin. Don't forget about the AGK coin.
Yeah.
And if you have time on your show, Toby, maybe you could address: would you feel it is your right to end your treasure hunt prematurely if you thought you had a reason that justified that? Just wondering, just in general. Are we doing phone calls, K-Pro, or we're not?
Hold on. Let me answer a few questions, and then I still have a couple things that I want to say.
We're going to go another hour. That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
We should.
Do you? No, because I'm kind of grumpy. Well, I don't know. I just think that I don't know. Do you agree with me that the buyer of the chest is buying a dead dog shot on a bridge painting unless it also
Wow.
contains the solve? In my opinion, no, in no way at all. I believe Mike agrees with you. I do not.
Oh, I don't agree with that. That the
Okay.
chest has value by itself. There's gold in there. There's precious artifacts, maybe to the right person, but that chest has value just by itself. I could just be somebody that doesn't even know who Forrest Fenn is, but I'm a millionaire and I see it's an auction at some prominent auction house. I'm like, wow, I want 265 gold coins. I want this. I want that. So no, I don't believe nobody would bid on it because there's no solution. I believe the finder would want the solution. And I believe not the finder, the buyer, the eventual buyer would want the solution. But I do believe the finder, when it's put up for auction, it needs to explicitly state if the solution comes with the sale or not, or the location comes with the sale or not. If it doesn't, that needs to be explicitly stated in the auction, I believe.
That's a great question, Gallatin Ghost. Does the bio come with the chest? That's what I'd want to know.
Oh,
Is it fully intact? It obviously doesn't have the bracelet, but I would want the buyer or the seller to certify every single thing is in that darn chest. And that includes the bio, that includes those darn scissors. I want the stick. I want the string that's on the stick. I want everything. I want that rusty damn key. I want it all. I think it'll go more, and Toby has said this. I believe it'll go more as a whole, and I think it will go as a whole, and it's going to go to some collector. We're never going to see it, but and it's going to be in their, one wing of their mansion. So, I don't know. Unopened, I think, is impossible because Forrest is actually. I wonder if he. So, do you remember when we bought the maps and he gave us a certificate of authenticity? I wonder if he did that.
A certificate of some kind.
I wonder if the
Consider-
finder was
yeah.
smart enough to bring it. Because he's a millennial. Now, somebody asked me, what does millennial mean? The basic definition, I'm just going to say, is about 30 to 40. Some say 23, 24. Some go as low as 22. Some go as high as 39, 40. But basically, I'd say 25 to 38.
And what has he opened it or not? Has the finder opened it and read it?
Oh, the bio. I thought you meant the
finder.
check.
Finder. Has the finder opened that sealed olive jar and read what's in it, or is he leaving that intact for the buyer? That's, of course, you should state that. I mean, in an auction, don't you have to individually state all the items in the chest?
I believe so.
People know what they're bidding on. And AGK said, Toby said, according to his lawyer, he can end the hunt depending on the reason, legally. And there's, force majeure. Have you heard of that? Am I pronouncing it right? Force majeure, K-Pro?
I don't know.
So in contract law, force majeure basically means an act of God. It's for those things you can't think of through nobody's fault. This had to end prematurely because of. So I think that's valid. We got a super chat from 3D Bronze. Agreed. It's worth very little. Finder, email me. Big thank you to 3D Bronze. I got something in the mail. Thanks for the note. It's something we're going to show at a later time. I have it. I could show it, but we probably should wait.
No. Let's wait. We have to talk through it. Yeah. So,
yeah,
and today was a big day for me because here's the thing. There are some things that I did share, like all of Cynthia's information, Dale's information, some things that was going through. I'm sorry that I'm not going to share all the details for us. That's for Forrest or Forrest fan, whoever to share. I did share my thoughts on the lawyer. I did share my thoughts, and they were some negative thoughts about the finder or just. And I might have the same critiques on myself because I understand that the finder can't be perfect, but I do have to say I think Forrest was probably disappointed in how all this ended. So in general, looking over this, I had a hard time. First, I asked Cynthia, like, are you okay with me sharing it? And she's like, no. You're there.
Post something, Toby. When he posts something, I have to allow it for some reason.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, force majeure. I just wasn't sure if I was pronouncing it right. An act of God. Try and post something, and I'll see.
Just post hi, Toby, and let's see if it. Yeah, it is ironic because that happened to me. So This was hard for me of what can I share, what can I share. There's some confidences that people, I will say there's some rabbit holes that I think people are going down that they think it is solid proof of certain things. I don't want to help some of the not so great people that are attacking me and others. And so it was hard for me on deciding what to share. And see, Toby, everything Toby's posting.
Yeah, I'll have to look into why that is. It doesn't show you're blocked. It's just hidden until I allow it to come through, and I don't know why that is. So that's kind of
Yeah, that is
because
interesting.
people don't
Yeah.
want the truth. No, sorry.
They can't handle the truth.
Hashtag force majeure, everybody. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
I
what
am
was it that
doing
you shared, that you got the okay from Cynthia to share? I know you said it. What-
that how she found out. She did say she found out from someone. She wouldn't say who. Many people think she has a direct pipe with the family. I do think she has a good relationship with the
oh, I
family.
thought you were going to say to the finder. People think she knows the
Oh
finder.
God, that would be great. No.
Star Moreno says Dale just came out with a post. What? All right, let's check.
Free Toby. Holy, that's awesome.
Better not be messing with us, Minotaur Moreno.
Oh, you know what? It might be the word kiss. Because that's X-rated after your book, Toby. I don't know.
Where, Minotaur? Is it under, like, where do I have to look in order to
find? Okay. So I want to give a shout out to, I don't know if he wants me to. He emailed me and said, I really think Matt's final tribute that Forrest wrote from Smell the Sunshine that was read at the finale should be given to Dale and posted on the site. So I asked Matt, can we have it? And Matt said yes, but then Dale said he wanted direct permission. So I've been going back and forth between all these emails. So I just finally put everybody on email and said, are we all going to share? This is the final. And they said yes, and they were so great about it. So I think that's what we're sharing. God,
it's called The Squirt. I posted October 1st, just a little while ago by Dale.
Oh my God, that's our room.
Thank you, Minotaur. No comment.
There better not be additional
Thank you, Minotaur Moreno, for pointing out the breaking news. Here we go. Dale's blog. You know it. Yeah, that's what she said. Here we go. We can't.
God, what's wrong with you? Are you 13 today?
Yeah, my mind stays 13, but my body's whatever. The Squirt, October 1, 2020 by Dale. Matt, owner of the YouTube channel Smell the Sunshine, was in communication with Forrest on August 25th as Matt and Cynthia prepared for the finale get-together to be held in and around Yellowstone on Labor Day weekend. Capro was there. Capro helped out with the festivities and the giveaways, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Forrest gave Matt the below letter for everyone at the gathering, and Matt read the letter aloud. And there would be somebody who doesn't realize this, that Forrest wrote this letter. Matt read the letter aloud at the get-together. In the letter, Forrest is speaking about the road in front of the Dude Motel in West Yellowstone, which he, his brother Skippy, and his friend Donnie Joe built in the early 1960s. The Dude is still around today with its iconic sign, but Boundary Street is now paved. This is from a postcard from 1962. You're saying the room looked exactly like this from 1962? Hasn't changed much, huh? And there's the Dude Motel. Anybody's been to West Yellowstone, I'm sure, remembers this.
I was across the street.
Okay, this is the letter from Forrest, and I think it's apropos that we're going to read a letter from Forrest when we had the show tonight to talk about.
I think it goes on for a while, but yeah, okay.
You guys are lucky because the streets in West Yellowstone are paved now. Boundary Street used to be a dirt road, and every time a car passed by the Dude, dust would swirl all around and make me mad. One hot day, I'd had enough, so I hooked our garden hose up to the faucet and started squirting water on the road to calm the dust, beginning at the corner by our big sign. The problem was that our well didn't provide much pressure, so before I could wet down very much of the road, it was already dry back there by the big Dude sign. Elert Koski, these names from back then, Elert Koski saw what, is that an anagram? Where's anagram when you need them? Elert Koski saw what I was doing, so he started speeding by back and forth, causing giant swirls. I tried to squirt his car as he sped by, but that didn't work very well. That's when I stopped liking Elert Koski. Besides, he was Skippy's friend, not mine. Fortunately, Skippy's car was parked nearby, so I went over and squirted it really good. That's how I got back at Elert Koski. I felt smug because he just didn't fully know who he was dealing with. Forrest has got that dry sense of humor, doesn't he? Okay, sometimes I just feel diabolical. There we go. Oh, that's cool. So I'm sorry I can't be talking with you in person today. This was for everybody at the finale. This was what, 2 days, 3 days before he died, K-Pro?
Yep.
Yeah.
He died on the Monday and the finale was on Saturday.
I'm sorry I can't be talking with you in person today. You can blame my age if you want to, but you can't blame my heart. And since I can't be there, I hope someone will take a squirt bottle and wet down the pavement in front of the dude sign. If someone does that, I'm sure I will know F. And this is the Finley kids fulfill Forrest's wish. So
That
there it is, everybody.
well, and here's the other thing.
Mhm.
Sam, Bobby, Dan, there's a whole group of searchers that also did that. They have a video of doing that. And I think it was sent to Forrest. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
and I think somebody was wondering why the picture was not in our tribute video that we did. The picture of the guys squirting the bottles down. And that is that's the reason is because it was the definition was not clear. It was not a high res picture, right?
well, here's what I did. So
Mhm.
a lot of people said, I sent, you guys have a bunch of pictures of me. You can go and find them. I did my very best and I got inundated with pictures, but then there was probably 20, 30, 40 pictures I wanted in. One of those pictures was that video. I tried to do a snip because I'm not great at any of this stuff, and it just came out so grainy. I didn't have time to go to the individual people and say, can I please have, can I please have? I can tell you one of the ones that I asked, can I please have, was Cynthia with her dog Molly. I
Mhm.
went boots on the ground with Molly. I went with Cynthia as well, but I have a special bond with animals. There were so many times. So I'm so sorry. That's one example. A few other people were upset. Why didn't you go find this picture for me or that picture? It was so hard because I was working so fast trying to get it out.
Yeah.
So I apologize, but that is the reason it was so grainy.
Mhm.
Mike went through after I built it all up and he's like, I know you're trying, but it's gonna look so poor quality, it's gonna take away. Take this one out, take this one out. And there was about 10 or 15 that I took out. And I'm really sorry, but I tried.
And at the end of the show tonight, because we are talking about Forrest Fenn Treasure Found, I think it would be appropriate to play the tribute video as we sign off at the very end. What do you think, Gabriel?
Yeah, that'd be
I believe everybody's seen it, but just in case you haven't, we will play it at the very end here when we're done. But we got some other things to talk about, right? You said you had a list of a couple things.
yeah, well,
Treasure Hunt, Mr. Clue, Valentine Goose, the Beacon Star, AGK's Treasure Hunt, book giveaway. Make sure you comment below. We're going to do comment picker next Monday.
hey, Mike, do you want to turn on the phone lines?
Okay, so we have not tried the phone line since I redid my computer. So we are going to attempt to try the
Do you
phone
guys
line.
want to try the phone lines?
I
Because
can't
here's the
guarantee it's
thing.
going to work.
Today was the day that I finally felt like I put a little bit out there. And again, I apologize. I'm not putting more. I'm trying my very best. I hope you guys know I'm trying my best to be genuine to the people I'm talking to. Um, there, here's something else I will say. There's some really big things that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks, month time frame.
What was that, Capro?
I don't remember what I said. What, Mike?
I said there's going to be an announcement at the end, and it will before we
Oh,
play the.
no, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't, and
Oh,
I would prefer, Mike,
don't do that.
I don't know.
I was going to talk around it.
I don't want to, you are the man. So I'm going to leave you to,
Thanks.
I'm talking about the Forrest Fenn piece.
Oh,
I think there's some things that are going to all come together. I think that there's just a lot that's going to happen. I don't think we got the closure. Someone asked me if in 5 years, when you look back at this closure, do you think if you got the solve, let's say tomorrow, do you think you're still going to be okay with how all this happened?
right.
I I hope so. I will tell you that my mom's passing was so sudden. There was a lot of family issues. There was um eh, there was a lot that happened that it took 10 years to feel better about it. I don't feel good about it. I have come to peace with it. I feel like it's going to be the same with Forrest. I don't feel like this ending is ever going to leave the people closest to this hunt and to him feeling good about it, but it will be okay with his legacy. And oh God, you guys,
What happened?
I don't know. People are crazy.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I'm not going to. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this because, well, that's me doing a test. Oh, there we go. Hang on. So I've got to set up the microphone.
okay, let me start to answer some questions. If you put at KPro, I'm going to start to try to answer some of those.
Okay.
Do you think the finder's name is a name you would recognize? I have really gone back and forth on this question. I'm going to say probably.
Really? No, wait. The handle or the actual name?
Oh, I think probably the handle. My guess would be the handle. I think it's not a dominating person, but someone that, if I were to look up a couple of names, some people have had some guesses. I don't think some of the people's guesses are right, but I think it could be something like that. I don't think it's going to be like a well-known name. I think it's going to be a name not very well known, but yeah.
Detroit, hello.
Okay, phone lines are open, everybody. That sound of Mr. Larry King means
Oh,
if we can get this to work, the phone
yeah,
line.
you open it up. Redneck Express. The problem is on the tribute is I suck at it. So I lost the file a bunch of times. I just did my best. So, how do you know there's new stuff coming in the very near future? I'll get back to that question. Go ahead.
Bro and Cow.
Hey, it's Chris LaFrida. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Chris.
Christy.
How are you?
Hi, Chris.
Good,
Good to
good.
talk to you.
I waited for you guys to turn the phones on so I can go to bed.
Nice. Okay.
Because it's like midnight here. Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing because it had come up while Forrest and I were trying to get our the story published about the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, I didn't want to write an article because I knew it was going to take me. I'd spent all this time on finding, putting everything together and all the stuff that happened with finding the plane and then figuring out what was what. I didn't want to have to write the article because I knew it was going to take me a while to write because I write technical papers for engineers. I don't write, those kind of articles.
Yeah.
So, we were trying to get some network to pick it up, and we made a lot of headway, but everyone was sort of dropping out at the end. So Forrest had contacted Doug Preston, and he was going to write the article.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's
and that sort of fell apart the last second too. His editor basically shot it down. He had already started interviewing everybody, and
Preston.
making notes and everything, and then I ended up having to write it, but he was going to write it. This article might have been before Forrest passed, been in the works with Doug Preston.
I mean, I believe Forrest could have just in a general way said, whenever you decide to put out what you want to put out, here's my good friend Douglas Preston's phone number. Maybe he can help you. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
And absolutely. And Forrest was like prodding me about the article for a while too, because I knew it was going to take a while, and it took me some weeks to write it because I'm not going to send Forrest something, he's such a great storyteller. I'm not going to send
Right.
And I wasn't going to send him something that sucked, so I had to make sure it was good. But even after I wrote it, before I sent it to Forrest, I hired an editor to edit it. So the Finder could have, and I'm not dismissing anybody's theories about what's going on, but you have to consider that the Finder could have hired Doug Preston could have easily been involved, and he could have given him notes and Doug could have written it, or he could have hired a writer and given him notes to write it.
I agree.
Or at least an editor at the end. You wouldn't want to put up some, you know what I mean?
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think, was it known or not if just turning over the bracelet, Forrest cut you some sort of a check? He would have had the money to do this, right? Is that true?
What I don't know that piece. What he did tell Cynthia, and she put out on Amy's channel, and some other people are upset about, but I'm just so grateful Cynthia shared it, is she said, if it was, how did you deal with legal issues if it was found in the national park? Because like Yellowstone. And he said, they hand it to me and I hand it back. And he actually did it like that. Like it was like a, styrofoam, and that's the only thing they did not talk about, the bracelet. I never talked about consideration, the actual money portion for the bracelet. So it's a great question. That would have been one of my questions.
Well, look, I think an editor, this freelance editor who's very good, he cost like $200. I mean, I think he changed 2 sentences and it was mostly grammatical stuff. It really was very minor, but it's not expensive. Even writers are fairly cheap when I was looking at it. They were very cheap.
Well, I had
we
a
provided
200-page dissertation, and I hired an editor. And I think now this was 15 years ago. It was $250 a page. I think I paid like $500-600, worth their weight in gold. They found every typo and problem and made things smooth transition. So I think you're exactly you could be right. And there's still a finder, but it could have been Douglas. Douglas would have done it, I think, just as a
Yeah.
favor to be involved, but it could have just been an editor as well that made it. I called it sing. I said, make it sing.
And
Right.
and just for the,
absolutely.
just for the conspiracy people out there, Chris, did you in fact find Forrest Fenn's treasure?
No, I keep looking
Okay.
under my bed, but there's no treasure there.
So Minotaur Moreno wants to know if you still think your phone number theory was correct. That phone number you called from the book.
I've sort of stopped trying to think of anything because the worst case of us, I don't want to go out on any limbs if we're never going to have an answer.
Well, can we talk a second about we talked privately about seeing if Forrest would do something else in kind of that extension project. Can we talk about that, or would you prefer not to have it, kind of out and about?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, when possibly having Forrest kind of get involved in getting some additional information on the plane. Do you remember that you and I talked about? And folding him into a potential Zoom call with the people out there.
About the
yeah.
plane.
Actually,
about the plane.
I haven't. Sure. Well, okay. So this wasn't meant to be a secret or anything, but in fact, so if you remember, in January or late January, early February, they were supposed to go back out,
right?
And whatever, and COVID actually kept it sort of prevented us from doing much. There was some equipment we wanted, but actually, maybe the week after the chest was found, around then, we were able to pull something together, and they did go back out. We found some more parts and stuff stuff that tied exactly back to Forrest's plane, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
And we got some other video, but I don't have they and in fact they have a few more things to send, but they haven't. I'm not sure if they're open now, but international flights were still not going, so there's a few things I'm still waiting on. But we had some more parts from the plane, and I think some higher quality video from actually where he landed in the parachute. They actually went all the way out there. They didn't find the camera or the pistol or his gun camera film. I mean, we were hoping to find something like that, but we didn't. We found more. They did go back to the crash site and found more plane parts.
Okay.
But I don't know if I touched on anything you were mentioning.
No, you were you had talked to me about and we were trying to loop Forrest and all that, and I knew you were still kind of working on it, so I just wanted to see if there was an update. I was a little I know Forrest was so hesitant because of the technology. I don't think he understood how we could kind of get him there without him being there. And I had such a hard time trying to explain it via email, and so I don't think I did it justice to try to, but it sounds like you continued it on. I would love it looks like some things are going to go forward with a documentary type of thing. I think that could be a documentary in itself. But remind me, Mike, if you're up for it, have you tried to shop that too, or at least just get that story out? Would you be up for that being in a documentary?
Yeah, absolutely. We did for a while, and everything it got so frustrating after a while because it kept going. All right, well, so it kept going to like this guy would love it, then the guy above him would love it, and then the next guy up. I don't know if they just didn't want to they felt like they had to send a crew to Laos, and they were like, yeah, we're not gonna put that kind of money into something. I don't know, but that kept happening. When we last found more parts, the guys that I'm working with in Laos and Vietnam, they knew a producer from Nat Geo, and he actually he actually knows my brother in a roundabout way. So it was funny. So they were interested in it, but nothing is moving. Like they're working on a documentary still. They were flying all these guys out, Vietnam vets, in February, and that all got canceled. And so that's at a standstill. So that project is just like a barely a thought at the moment. You know, they're interested, but God knows when anything would happen with that. There were some people actually that contacted me today or yesterday. That I guess it's spoken with Dale. So, you know, I at this point, what's happening, I don't know. But we look. I mean, you know, we can certainly figure that out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things, since while you guys had this long, I've been listening through for the whole thing, you know, your whole YouTube video tonight. Another thing I wanted to mention. So, you know, I know that the finder said that he wasn't able to see Forrest again. And Mike, you mentioned, you were saying it could be a COVID thing. And, you know, Forrest had been asking me to come see him. And it's a little different for me. I don't know the finder, so I don't know, you know, what was going on with him. But, you know, I had COVID in March. I got better, but I had some like complications that lasted a couple months from it. But, you know, the science behind it was so sort of shaky that I hadn't even seen my dad for a few months. And Forrest was asking me to come visit. And I was kind of avoiding him a little bit because I was mostly concerned for Peggy, because it's, you know, obviously something that affects, you know, people with certain conditions. And I didn't want to, you know, I was afraid to go visit him. I didn't know.
That's true.
You know, scientifically, I should be fine after a certain point, but there were all these cases of people having it for 30 days and 40 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then on July 1st, you know, New Mexico sort of implemented this like 2-week mandatory quarantine from out-of-state visitors. So, and they lifted that, I think the week before Forrest passed, and then I started making plans, and then, you know, all that happened so quick. So, you know, I understand, and everything everyone's bringing up, I have similar, you know, I'm seeing the same things and having some of the same thoughts, but some of the stuff I think, you know, could easily be explained. Some stuff I don't have an explanation for, but it could just be I'm not creative enough to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. But you know, I actually agree a lot with what K-Pro said tonight. I believe there was a finder, and I think it's from what that person wrote, it does sound like he didn't necessarily figure out the whole solution, but sort of figured out you know, where he thought it was, and just spent a lot of, you know, put a lot of effort in, obviously, and found it, but probably not in a way Forrest thought someone was going to find it.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I was the most. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, and I thought I remembered you guys talking about an email. Someone got an email from Forrest where he said they didn't discuss the finder's solution. Or didn't discuss one of the clues, or so the Homer Brown.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen a lot of discussion about things, but I haven't. I'm now into, and it's so hard because I just gave out a bunch of my opinions and didn't present a lot of facts. I'm kind of going just to facts. I haven't seen that yet, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just don't. I haven't seen that directly. Like Forrest never told me that.
Okay.
So, and I tried.
Where someone had asked if anyone had sent the right Home of Brown to him, and I thought he said no. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard that in one of your videos, and then and this part wasn't clear, and then I think there was a follow up that Forrest had said that they had never just said so someone had said, oh, only the finder got it, and he said, oh, they didn't discuss it. I thought that someone had said that, but I could be wrong.
I remember something similar. I'll have to look back.
We'll have to see. Somebody will look it up and find out if it was on our show. Somebody will send it to us.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, if that was the case, maybe they didn't discuss it. I don't know. But again, like, so I'm not sure if that's correct or not. So, but yeah, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say. I had a little insight to sort of like, when we were working on the article and Doug was going to write it, it could totally be like that. And even after that, Forrest was trying to get Doug to write an article for a different publication. And he's definitely, I could see him writing it, especially if the Finder was not, didn't really want to write an article,
Right.
So Forrest might have offered that up, and he might have taken him up on it. I mean, I think it seemed like Forrest had been, from what Forrest wrote, it seemed like he had spent some time trying to get the Finder to let him to release the state.
Yeah, maybe.
It's such irony because I think he had so many people that wanted to come and see him and would have, at the drop of a hat, gone immediately. And the Finder hadn't. He was trying to get the Finder to give out a little bit more. And he did. He was a man of his word. He said, I'm not going to do it unless the Finder says okay. But it was almost like, what an ironic ending. In my opinion, when I read that article, it almost seemed like tables were turned a little, and maybe it wasn't that redneck. It wasn't that person that would have said, like, I hate to say, I would have said, I'll take the $1 million loss. I'm already going to get enough to help my family. I would have probably put it in the museum, but I don't judge him. But I just think, I don't think that's what Forrest, and I don't think the ending Forrest even anticipated. Which is
right.
Sure. Oh, I agree with that. That definitely seems to be, it from what the Finder has written so far. He, maybe he's only given us, some of the things when you read it, it's not clear exactly what he's saying, but it does sound like, because even saying, I found where Forrest wanted to die. I mean, that's synonymous with where the treasure was hidden. So why say it that way? The only reason I could think of is because he figured this out in a sort of a roundabout way. Why else would you say that?
Okay, thanks, Chris. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks for calling in.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk again.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye. And again, I don't think.
Bye.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't think everything that was in the article is as we're interpreting it either. I don't think everything is as it seems. And the Phantom told me that.
The Phantom told you that. Who's the Phantom?
Do you ever listen to me? For God's sakes. I said at the beginning, when I'm not going to name a source, but there's a source, I'm going to say the Phantom.
Oh, see, I did not hear that part. All right, breaking news, everybody. The Phantom.
Oh my God.
We also have more breaking news. You never know. There's still the treasure hunting amusement park. And this is breaking news as of, I think, a minute ago, everybody. Check it out. The Great U.S. Treasure Hunt on YouTube. No views. It just literally showed up. But check it out. I know a lot of people have heard about this. The Great U.S. Treasure Hunt. Find 4 items worth $10,000 each. Read, decode, discover. The breaking news is at the end of this, which is, in fact, the start date, which I think a lot of people have been waiting for. Somewhere in the U.S., there's 4 items. Their ebook costs $7.77. Again, we're not affiliated with these people in any way. $7.77 pre-order today, but we do, in fact, have a start date. The hunt begins October 30th.
Whoop, whoop.
October 30th, everybody. 4 prizes, $10,000 each. The Great U.S. Treasure Hunt on YouTube. So there it is. More breaking news on the Cowlazars channel, K-Pro and Cowlazars. That's what we do. We try and bring you guys some info. We have some discussion with Forrest Fenn, of course. And I did turn off the phone lines. It's late. It's 9:30 here.
We
It's
got one call.
40.
One call
We
in.
did do a call, though. I just wanted to test the phone lines. I think maybe we should have a show where it's just phone calls.
Next show. You know what? Next show. Phone calls. Mike, you can cut off calls early if need be, because I know several were like, oh, I'm nervous. Yeah. So I think I would like to do, I want to hear from others. Because here's the thing. If it's making people upset until I actually know and can give everything, I'll wait. And so if that's, if we're ready to move on from all of this, I have to say, Mike, I might not be here next week.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think the views on today's video, I think we're up to 250, show that there is still interest in Forrest Fenn, the thrill of the chase. So
Yeah.
I do think sometime next week we're just going to take phone calls the entire show. Just remember Monday night show, we are going to give away the AGK treasure
So
hunt.
comment on this. Yeah,
Comment
comment.
on this video. We will use comment picker, and you have, well, I don't know, I'd say 24 hours, but I'd
And you
prefer
have to be there.
I'd prefer it to be somebody that's watching the show Monday that can win. You know what I
No,
mean?
not prefer. You have to.
Oh, well, there it is, everybody.
Yeah.
So it shall be said, so it shall be done. You have to be present
I
at
said
the
it.
show Monday when I do the comment picker. You have 15 minutes to know or email me that you're there and that you're the winner. Otherwise, we'll pick somebody else. But we'll figure that out Monday. 4 different things worth $10,000 each, Noel Garcia. And to be clear, the item is not worth $10,000. You turn it in and you receive $10,000 from these treasure hunt creators of the great U.S. treasure hunt. Watch the video, go to their Facebook page. They explain it. $7.77. I don't think we're gonna have to buy it just so we understand what's going on.
We just want to support treasure hunts. And so here's the other thing: 3D Bronze solved. He put on a hunt. It's been solved. We want to show that. Let's show that on Monday. Heidini has found one of the searcher
Perfect.
coins I put out. And
That was
she
in Yellowstone, West
it was
Yellowstone.
in Yellowstone at Oho. I'm going to show the other one. I have a video that I'll show the other one where I threw mine in. I
I have
cried.
it downloaded. I could show it actually.
No,
No,
we'll do
I-
that on Monday.
oh,
We've been on long enough.
I got you.
National Park solved. Oh, you said that one of the coins from the
Yep.
national park had been solved.
The
Let's
Overland mission, one of the coins has been solved. The finder sent me pictures. We'll do that Monday as well. What?
and no, Indy's just funny.
Copper Dragon Horde, Outcast Searcher. There's a new treasure hunt called the Copper Dragon Horde. It has nothing to do with Copper Dan. It is on Facebook. I don't have any details. That's why we didn't talk about it. I don't know the details of it. Chasing Indies, Hocus Pocus. Now I'm Brocus treasure hunt. You guys can check that out.
And then we do a Zoom. We're doing a Zoom tonight. It'll probably be a short one. I don't know. I'm going to bed. But there, and I am going. Okay, here's my plea to you. If you're working on Mr. Clue, message me because I think I'm kind of close. It's going to take me a while to get there. It's going to take me a while to get back. It's going to be a few days, but it's going to be girls.
Actually, email me and I'll make sure K-Pro gets it. So there you go. Hooli just put
Yeah,
the
I do get a
link
lot
to
of
the Great
emails.
U.S. Treasure Hunt on Amazon as well. So yeah, if you want to buy that book. So yeah, email me. I'll make sure K-Pro gets it because I will be in communication with her while she is boots on the ground for Mr.
Oh my gosh, we
What?
totally have to talk about this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Thank you for that super chat. And you had one earlier. I didn't miss it. Thank you. He says, I would like that book for $7.77. You can get it. So what is the Zoom? The Zoom we do Captain Marvel. Oh, it's going to be officially it's AGK. I was about to say, you get the link. Officially it's AGK, but you know what? These Zooms are more turning into a general treasure hunt focus. We can talk about anything you want to. We can talk about Vegas Die, AGK, Hocus Pocus, Chasing Indies broke, whatever it is. We guys can talk about it. We can talk about Forrest Fenn. It's just a place for people to discuss that's not on YouTube. So
yeah, well, and there was anywhere from I've seen as low as 10 one night. I've seen 42 people in the Zoom, and everywhere in between. If you're talking about the Zoom, sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah.
There is some interesting stuff that we will talk on Monday because I asked Nemo for a source when he said there was some comparison of writing, and he's right. So he just sent me a screen capture.
We'll talk about that on Monday. Yeah,
we'll talk about that on Monday. So we have a lot to talk about on Monday. So, yeah, I'm gonna be letting the boys be boys this weekend, and girls. Oh God, we need one. Don't walk by it. Don't walk by it. Don't walk right by it.
If we're right, yeah. I got you, Chasing Indy. I got you. You should have charged for it. If anything, you should have a PayPal link where people could donate to, for in appreciation for the hunt. Jack, nice Ferris Bueller reference. Okay, say bye, K-Pro, and then I got a couple things I need to say before we head out. And we are going to end on the Forrest Fenn tribute video since we discussed him so much tonight.
Aren't you searching for Mr. Clue with a partner? How would it work if someone emails you information to check out? Oh no, I'm not asking to partner with anybody.
We're not partnering
So
with anybody.
yeah, so if I had somebody earlier say, here's a piece that I've kind of figured out, if it helps you, great. No, and we would have to talk about if there's any, the cool part, I love how Nick puts it when he comes in. He's like, here's a little bit I'm going to share, and we've done the same. So some people just want to share something. Yeah, it's definitely not like we're brokering a deal. We're just trying to have some discussion. Is Monday a sure thing?
We'll
Yes.
go live Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine, Minotaur.
A Minotaur,
Oh, the big announcement. Valentine Goose says, what was the big announcement, K-Bro? Okay, it's not an announcement.
Okay, no, I'm dropping off at this point. You have fun, Michael.
right.
I'm not. Okay, bye.
So here's the deal, everybody. You know how when there's a treasure hunt, there's a kind of an order of clues. Most treasure hunt, there's clues that have to be solved. Like in Forrest Fenn's poem, there were 9 clues, and you kind of had to start with Warm Waters Halt, and there were 9 things. For the World Series of Fenn weekend, which is January 29th, everybody should be here in Vegas January 29th. There's a sequence of things that me and K-Pro are trying to work out so that we could have it happen in addition to the poker tournament that we do. So we're trying to make something happen. We don't have any details yet. We can't actually announce anything yet, but there's certain things that we're trying to make happen for the World Series of Fenn weekend, January 29th. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that at least you should book your airfare and get out here. We will have the details, but it's Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, 3-day weekend. You need to be in Vegas, January 29th. So that's it. I can't say any more than that, but I think you people get the hint. I don't have a pen where I can tap, but I think you guys get it. So thank you for tuning in tonight. And on a personal note, I'm about to show the Forrest Fenn tribute again. So get your tissues out because it's an emotional thing. I just want to say thanks to Forrest Fenn because it was through him and the Thrill of the Chase that I met K-Pro. And that means a lot to me. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are going to be back on. We're going to be back on Monday. We're going to do that comment picker for AGK's treasure hunt book. And thanks, everybody. We will see you next time. Here it is, in case you haven't seen it. This is the Forrest Fenn tribute. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to everybody. Here we go.
I'm no good at patching holes that I can't cover up the pain. When it's pouring down outside, I drink the rain. This were the last day of my life, I'd want you to know you were the best thing ever. I'm no good at letting go. And though these tears keep crashing down, I know just around the corner you're on a new adventure now. Ooh, I need you to know you were the best thing ever. Oh, you were the best thing ever.
I've gone alone in there with my treasures bold. I can keep my secrets where and hint of riches new and old. You get it where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk, put in below the home of ground. From there there's no place for the meek, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, heavy loads and water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. Terry scanned with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to see? The answers I already know, I've done it tired and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good, your effort will be worth the cold. If you're brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. If you're brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold.
So why do you engage with searchers? You gave a couple of good examples. You're hearing some inspiring stories.
Why do I engage with them? That's the only thing I have left. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are never what they seem.
like a sweet melody. The days that we treasured between you and me. Now you say you are leaving with words that sound tired. The space can't be measured. Too bad that you can't see. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if your heart has gone wandering and you're looking anew, I hope he's someone you've admired. Like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if things are different now, and this new love is true, I'll cry forever in my dreams. My tears are salty as the sea. There'll be forever too much distance in my reverie. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that we treasured between you and me. Now you say you are leaving with words that sound tired. The space days can't be measured. Too bad that you can't see. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if your heart has gone wandering and you're looking anew, I hope he's someone you've admired, whomever he be. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. And if things are different now, and this new love is true, I'll cry forever in my dreams. My tears are salty as the sea. There'll be forever too much distance in my reverie. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me. Your memory will remember like a sweet melody. The days that were treasured between you and me.
This were the last day of my life, I'd want you to know you were the best thing ever. I'm no good at telling lies, but I don't wanna hear the truth, 'cause I can take on it.